Hell. Alright, just make sure my mic was on. Um, I'm not really sure what is compelling me to make a video like this. Um, I just saw this sent in this Discord server that I'm in. CDTV Productions official Discord server. He's a YouTuber that I watch. He talks about music mostly. This isn't like the main reason that the server exists or anything, but you know, sometimes stuff like this can be brought up, and I wasn't participating in the conversation at all. I don't really know the context for why this was brought up. I just saw this link and I clicked on it, and at least this document, and I kind of just wanted to read it, you know. And I started to read it, but as I was reading it, I found myself stopping a lot just to like think, you know. And I noticed that there was this kind of like inner monologue in my head as I was thinking. It was kind of like, I don't know, it's almost like I was giving my opinion to myself. So I guess I thought it might be good for me to record it so that I can actually say it out loud and give my opinion to other people. So I'm just gonna read it. I only got to like page 5 or so. I may not even read the whole thing because holy shit, 121 pages. But yeah, basically to give some background, this is about a person's. Well, I guess this gives enough background in and of itself, but it's about a person's relationship, very unhealthy relationship, how they were essentially groomed by this YouTuber, who I will actually look up real quick. Don't worry about if I recommend it. Yeah, I had never heard of this person in my entire life. I'm not gonna lie. She is decently popular, as you can see, 363,000 subscribers, 840 videos, been around for a while. Seems kind of like, kind of like a quirky, like silly character. Makes a lot of videos about Five Nights at Freddy's, as you can see. And I think that's how they met the person that made the document through the FNAF fandom. Anyway, I don't need to give that much background. The document, I'm sure, is going to give enough background in and of itself. But I just wanted to say that I had no idea who this was. Although a lot of people in the server, I did notice after after Mira sent this, there were a couple people that actually. Hold on, let me scroll past all this. Some people that actually did notice or recognize their name. Yeah, and I really feel for them. It does suck to see someone that you like enjoy the content of in any capacity being just like a general piece of shit. As kind of a self-proclaimed music nerd, I obviously, have experienced that quite a bit. There are a lot of shitty people in the music industry. Although a lot of it was already known, because I only really discovered my passion like fairly recently, maybe, like, a little more than a year ago. So it's not really. It's kind of different because like having a big secret being revealed like that is, it's not fun. Um, but yeah, anyone watching this that watches gomotion, I would urge you to not not watch gomotion. Um, yeah, just because from the first couple of pages that I read, it seems pretty bad. Um, I guess I'll start reading here. This document is not recommended to be read by anyone under the age of 18 due to frequent sexual themes. I understand why it's there, and I'm 18. Um, Definitely, avoid interacting with things that you're not comfortable with or that are going to like trigger you in any sort of way. But at the same time, I do think that stuff like this is important to be shown to people who could be potential victims in the future. You know, maybe not in this capacity, like reading a document like this, but definitely like this kind of behavior online could be more known about, and understood by like parents, because I feel like a lot of parents know that there are bad people online that like have bad intentions talking to their children, but they don't really have that good of an understanding of it sometimes. So this kind of thing is important. And if you're watching this and you're under the age of 18, I'm not saying like click off immediately. It might be good for you to see something like this, but at the same time, stick with what you're comfortable with. You know, it's it's whatever. Um, but yeah, I think there are like trigger warnings later on, so I don't have to remember them. But so I'm gonna just keep reading. The main goal of this letter is to hold Jody, which is the real name of Commotion, to hold Jody accountable for her actions and push her to truly make changes for her life and herself. She has been dodging accountability for far, far too long, and I fear another person or people who make the same mistakes that I did and not see the warning signs sooner. Jody, if you're reading this, please seek professional, long-term psychological help. It's disgusting of you to be using kind-hearted people online as your therapists. You need more help than any of us can provide or that you alone can provide for yourself. Make a change in your life and improve yourself for the better. For your sake and for the people you know. Yes, very good. Very mature statement there. Okay, yeah. Warning, this document holds screenshots of sensitive nature, which contain mentions of suicide, self-harm, sexual themes, transphobia, inappropriate interactions with minors, and emotional manipulation. As far as I saw, there were no like screenshots of like anything NSFW or gore or anything, but there were, they mentioned it and they went into some detail. And I'm not really sure what happens past like page 5, like I said. So, yeah. Introduction. My name is Tickler. I'm going by this pseudonym so as to not connect this whole ordeal to the rest of my online life. Interesting pseudonym that they chose here, the Tickler. My real identity will not hold any major relevance to the general argument and will be redacted in all screenshots for my own privacy and safety. Makes sense. Don't try to like seek that information out. It's not really important. I will also be redacting the names of other people involved in this situation. I have spoken to each of them privately and have received permission to include screenshots that they may be in. Different people will be discerned with different colors. Please understand that this is incredibly difficult for me to talk about. Going back to these experiences is painful and stressful. I'm doing this because I fear for anyone else who may be vulnerable and fall into the same trap I did. Honestly, I can tell that this is true just from how far I got, the way that they were describing it. They were going into detail, and I have much, much respect for this person for making this document, despite how hard it is for them. But yeah, I can tell that it was not easy, and just I have a lot of appreciation for people who will kind of do the right thing regardless of how easy it is, you know. And the right thing was putting this information out there for people to know about, people to be aware. The beginning. I first began consistently interacting with Jody on March 19th, 2020. I was 15 years old at this time. Jody was 18. I was pretty active within the FNAF community, and that was how she came into my DMs eventually, asking about a fan game team and if she could be a part of it. I'm not involved in FNAF. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means just like writing fan fiction or whatever the fuck that means, but I don't think it's that relevant. I don't really want to get into this part too much, but a situation escalated and it ended in me having a massive fallout with my best friend at the time. Jody was in the middle of the whole thing and was quick to jump to my defense and to console me after such a rattling event. I was in an incredibly vulnerable state, and she was the first person there to comfort me. Yeah. Um, this is definitely something to take note of. Although it kind of depends on the details. Me personally, I'm not someone that's like against the idea of people of these ages like interacting at all. I mean, I don't really now, obviously, but before I graduated, I was friends with the freshmen in my school. I considered them to be like my peers. You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking that I was like so far above them emotionally that like, or like in a maturity level that like I couldn't even have a conversation with them or anything like that. And obviously, just talking to someone of that age isn't like automatically grooming. I feel like a lot of people tend to make that joke, you know, which is fine. It's a joke, but like whatever. The point I'm getting at here is that it's kind of easy to justify this because not that I mean I'm not saying that justification is valid. I'm saying it's easy to like justify this in your head if you want to see this person Jody as like you know like a likable figure. You know what I mean? Because it's just something that a friend does for another friend. You know what I mean? And there's nothing necessarily wrong with it in and of itself. That's I'm sure that's what this person was telling himself at the time, and it's not necessarily untrue. There is nothing wrong with it, but it's you know there's levels of grooming. You know what I mean? Not levels, stages is what I should say. There's stages, and they start by gaining your trust by doing innocent things. You know what I mean? The way that they gain your trust is by not being weird. Or maybe they might be a little bit weird, but it's like things that don't necessarily seem like bad or evil things to do. They'll probably try to be nice to you, but it's like you have to be on the lookout always for people like that because it could very easily just be a trick, and it's not like easy to tell. It's not easy to like cut people off. You know what I mean? If you think that they're good for you, but the truth is this is just a very common tactic for grooming, and we'll go a little bit more into detail on that later. After a few days of chatting and eventually joining a server with some of her friends in it and interacting with her in a VC, we had our first DM call. This will be the very first of many. Over the following week through March and April, many of my VCs with her involved her crying and venting to me, and me consoling her and giving the best advice I could. It felt like a lot at once, but I really wanted to be a good friend, and I thought at the time that Jody was very cool, and that I was just being a shoulder to lean on. I find this part very interesting. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I find this part very interesting, though, because, like I said, I have considered, you know, people 3 or 4 years younger than me to be friends, but I can't really ever picture myself like using them as a shoulder to cry on. You know what I mean? Because there's just not much benefit from doing that. Like as you can see, she says that she was giving the best advice that she could, um, which makes sense for someone her age. It's like they they just don't have the same level of like life experience. You know what I mean? And when you're in your teen years, you change a lot really fast. Something that I noticed throughout all of my high school years is that I was always a completely different person looking back on like, the previous year. I was just completely different. And because those are the times where you gain the most life experience through those years. You know what I mean? Or not the most. I mean, the most life experience would be people that are like older. But I mean, like in the shortest amount of time, there are a lot of things that happen to you. There are a lot of changes, and you know, it just doesn't really make sense to me. As an 18-year-old, I would never ask for a 15-year-old to console me when I'm upset. You know, because I don't know. But again, it's another one of those things that it's just like when you're that person, you really just don't want to look at it in any way other than just they're in a bad place and I need to be a good friend to them because they were a good friend to me. I mean, it's probably one of the most difficult things to go through, having to like see past manipulation like this because it's like emotional manipulation. You know what I mean? They're making you think that you would be a bad person if you stopped being there for them. Or even in some cases, it would be so extreme to be like, if you don't talk to them, they're gonna like hurt themselves or kill themselves. And that is just, it's not easy to put yourself first in a situation like that. But it's, that's why I would definitely encourage anyone, of this age to confide in someone, a trusted adult, someone that is, more responsible than them to like help them figure it out. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot for someone of this age to handle alone. And that's the point. As an 18-year-old, Jody isn't old either. She's very young, but she is old enough to know that this person is very vulnerable to this. And there's no doubt in my mind that this was in completely intentional manipulation. I don't think she needed a shoulder to cry on. I think she wanted the person writing this document to feel like they had to be her shoulder to cry on so that they couldn't leave her. Again, very common grooming tactics. Another thing I wanted to point out, she says she wanted to be a good friend because she thought Jody was very cool. Another thing is that people of this age tend to look up to people of this age. They think that they're cool. And it might not be obvious because, a lot of people's humor now is kind of just like roasting each other constantly. But I think, to a certain extent, it is very much true that like as an 18-year-old, like when I was in my senior year of high school, I thought of myself as a role model. You know what I mean? And I tried to be that to the best of my ability because like I'm not I don't know. I don't know how to say this without sounding like a prick, narcissistic prick, but I hope that my point is getting across that, it's just another thing that Jody, I'm sure, fully understood and was completely taking advantage of. Let's move on. Even though it would leave me pretty emotionally drained, the good times outweigh the bad times, right? I really looked up to her and enjoyed the stuff she showed me, and I thought she was a cool YouTuber, even if I had never even heard of her before I met her. She often vented to me about her dysphoria, body dysphoria, gender dysphoria. She's transgender. I really wanted to be a supportive person, so I always tried to be open-minded, but looking back, I realize now that many of the things she was having conversations with me about were not things she should have said to a 15-year-old. including having conversations with me about her transition that were not appropriate. I've already seen this. This one is not really that bad. It's not like anything that is going to trigger anyone, but it is a decent like start, you know. So I guess she sent her a picture here or something, a drawing. Jody says, "That's awesome. Thank you so much." She says, "I just wanted to doodle something funny." Jody says, "You couldn't have sent this at a better time. I'm on the verge of tears right now. I was in my bed doing nothing because I was feeling depressed, and I just kind of the situation hit me that I'd never be a proper cis girl, and I'm just so fucking sad. I wish I was born a girl, for fuck's sake." And she says, "There's no such thing as a proper cis girl. Come on, don't put yourself down like that." Honestly, not bad advice considering 15 years old, right? But still, so boyish and gross, and I feel like I'm never gonna be able to feel like a girl though. I'm not lying. Like I don't know if it's healthy to feel this way, but I'm really jealous of you. It's not healthy to feel that way, by the way. If there's any transgender people watching this, it's not healthy to feel that way at all. But these are all very real feelings, for sure. I'm not here to like. Oh, by the way, I should probably point this out first. Take note of the date. I met her on March 19th. This is the very next day. A lot happening in very little time. Wasting no time, getting right to the point. But yeah, what I was saying, these are all very real feelings that a transgender person would have. But, again, like she said, this is not a conversation that you would reasonably be having with someone that's this much younger than you. You know what I mean? Or not like she's that much younger, but like I said, like you change a lot in a short amount of time. So, like I feel like, 15 and 18, there might only be a 3-year gap, but I think there's a much larger difference between 15 and 18 than like 25 and 28. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. But yeah, these are all very real feelings. I'm not here to invalidate any of these or say that these are like not valid, but the context in which this is being brought up in makes it very clear that this is just more predatory behavior. Like, I'm not here to say whether or not she actually felt like this, but I do not believe for a second that she actually thought this was the best person that she could talk to about it, to like get advice or just like have listened to her problems. I 100% believe that this was, just an attempt to like gain sympathy. You know what I mean? And again, just making you feel like you can't leave because if you do, they're going to be way worse off than they were without you. They give you a lot of responsibility over them, and it's horrible. Yeah. She also admitted some incredibly heavy stuff to me in a short time that it left me completely shocked. This was a point where I did reconsider being her friend, but she seemed desperate for companionship, and surely she had changed. Question mark. I didn't really pronounce the question mark there, but that's like her inner dialogue, I guess. The below images contain graphic and disturbing descriptions of self-harm. No pictures. I have already seen this. Again, there are no pictures, but there are descriptions. Yeah, well, I did just get my ears pierced. I'm pretty much invulnerable to any pain at this point. And she says it's still scary. I don't know what the context behind this is. It doesn't really matter. She says, also, I used to self-harm kind of a lot, a bit. Again, just like saying this in such like a little quirky way. It's just like I'm not gonna say that there's anything wrong with this. Had this been like another person her age who she known for a long time, but the fact that it's someone in a completely different age range that she'd only known for 4 days at this point. You know what I mean? It's just like this is not something that you need to be talking about with them with, even though the feelings, they may have been real. This is just not. I don't know. It's not good behavior. She says, "Oh my God, what? Holy shit, Jody." She says, "But that's a secret. You can't tell anyone." Okay, this is fucking gross. This is absolutely disgusting to me. I read this the first time, and this was when I realized that I wanted to make a video about it because this just fucking pissed me off so much. Saying that, like, they keep secrets with you is the thing. It's kind of related to what I was talking about before, where they gain your trust by doing innocent things. You know what I mean? And making you feel like you're close to them and, like, important to them. But really, I mean, I don't know if this is the case for Jody, but a lot of the time they might even have like multiple victims at once. Like, you might not be important to them at all, but they make you feel like you are by doing stuff like this and saying, like, trying to keep secrets with you and trying to, like, confide in you about things, you know what I mean, to make you feel like you're, like, special. But this is not appropriate behavior. There's, under no circumstances is this appropriate for an 18-year-old to say to a 15-year-old, in my personal opinion. This is not okay. She says, "Are you okay?" Jody says, "Yeah, it was in 2017. The scars are still there, though. Jesus shit. Oh God, I want to hug you now, like really close. Holy shit, please be nice to yourself. Don't do that." Very sweet. This is just, you can tell this is a very young person saying this. And it's just, makes it all the more disgusting. I'm sorry. She's not sorry. Don't be. It's just scary to me. I was surprised I didn't know what else to do. And, like, you get a legitimate high from it. This is so fucked up to say to a 15-year-old you just met. Yeah, this is where I stopped reading. I'm going to continue now, but yeah, this is where I stopped reading. This is not, she's not actually sorry. This is not, she might say that, but, like, this whole section is very important to the overall goal of grooming the victim, you know? Like, she can apologize for it, but ultimately she does win. And the fact that she did give you that information, she can be like, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have told you that," but she still did tell you that, you know? And now, you're just like, I don't know what the fuck to do now. It's just really gross to see this. Yeah, you get a legitimate high from it. This is a fucked up thing to say to, like, anyone, honestly. But yeah, to a 15-year-old you just met, crazy. It was kind of messy though. I'm glad it didn't get infected. Oh fuck. God. Damn, I didn't read this part. Yeah, everything I've past this point is completely new to me. I did not. Yikes, that is very graphic. What the fuck? Why would you say this to a 15-year-old? Maybe I went too deep sometimes. Yikes. Oh, there's more screenshots. Okay. So this is from the same conversation, I'm guessing. A couple minutes later. Yeah, I still feel guilty though. Don't be, I just worry about you. Because I still don't hate the idea of doing it. Not that I would, of course, but it relaxed me so much. And I wear long sleeves anyway. Don't ever do it again, ever, please. I cannot imagine how scary this conversation is for this person. Feeling that you're genuinely, like, responsible for their, like, life and well-being. Like, she's saying that she would never do it again, but obviously that's not, like groomer or not, people who have committed self-harm, you know, are not always telling the truth when they say, "I would never do it again." You know what I mean? It's interesting that she, said that you get a legitimate high from it, because I think it's kind of comparable to substance abuse, where you can feel done with it, but, like, you just relapse. You know what I mean? And it's horrible. But there's not really much cause or, like, anything that medicine or therapy can do about it. Not there's nothing they can do about it, but it's just bad. It's bad things that happen, and this is a very scary situation to be putting this person in. And I'm not saying I doubt that the self harm, what she's describing is true, but the fact that she's using it as a manipulation tactic to, like, make her feel this way is just disgusting. This entire conversation was so fucking scary and traumatizing. I can imagine. It felt really good. I'm not gonna lie. I won't do it again though. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I've had really nasty history with friends, self-harming. Don't want it to happen to you too. Okay, I promise I won't do it for you. This is another thing. Wow. Wow. I promise I won't do it for you. It's a God, major red flag. You know, for me, imagining myself as like a parent reading this, yikes, dude. That's a lot. But again, it's like it's keeping you close, you know what I mean? Making you feel like you're special. Being like, I won't do it because you asked. Like it kind of makes you feel like you can influence their decisions a little bit, which is what makes you think that you have that responsibility, you know, because it's like you kind of can help them. You know what I mean? You can't, but you feel like you can. And she's doing that on purpose. I just want you to be safe. I'm safe, I promise. Again, this is the person that she just met. This is, you know, she's showing a lot of empathy right now for a person that she just met. And it's all just a part of a manipulation tactic. I wish there was a safe way of getting that feeling, though. I wish I hadn't brought it up because I hate to admit that I sort of miss it. I'm sorry, I'll shut up now. Again, I do really feel bad for anyone that actually feels this way. You know, for anyone that has dealt with self harm or anyone that's dealt with gender dysphoria, just know that this, like, my comments are not towards you. My negative comments are not towards you in any sort of way because these feelings are not, like, you know, you may even think they're relatable. But the fact, the context, again, the context in which this is being brought up in makes it clear to me at least that she is not, like, you know, genuinely looking for sympathy because she, like, needs it. It's because, you know, it's her way of gaining trust from her victim. You know, sorry, I just feel really uneasy. I'm gonna go eat something. My God, this is not my fault. No, please, I'm so sorry. Yeah, disgusting. Oh, there's more. Yikes. I can't lie though. I am like really jealous of you. I know it's unhealthy, but I can't stop thinking about it. So this is 2 days later. What are you jealous of though? You're so much more successful than I am and probably ever will be. You're such an amazing modeler. It's going to lead to so many opportunities. You're also an amazing artist, character designer. You're very creative. I just make dumb retrospectives and shit. This is not, honestly, I don't see anything wrong with this conversation um, by itself. You know, had there been no other context, I wouldn't really think this is weird. Well, even if you have great ideas, you show me just last night when designing off. I don't understand any of that. I'm just gonna chalk up some of the stuff I don't understand to being like FNAF fandom language. But yeah, I don't think this conversation is very weird thus far. But I mean, again, that's kind of the point, you know. They do things that aren't weird and that seem innocent before they start getting into their real, you know, showing their real intentions. I'm honestly really jealous of you. Everyone wants to talk to you and be your friend and stuff. I'm usually just someone in the background. I wouldn't be jealous of me. I might have these opportunities now, but everything I went through to get to this point has been so ultimately so damaging to me that I regret a good chunk of it. Speed Edits literally gave me depression. How long have I been recording? 30 minutes. We are on page 7 out of 100. Okay, I don't think I'm getting through this whole thing, but we'll try. Why is she constantly so jealous of a 15-year-old? Yeah. As having this being brought up after saying the first time she mentioned being jealous was about uh you know, the body dysphoria and whatnot, and that's not really appropriate conversation to be having. I did bad things when I was 14 to 16. I was rude to people at their channels who made edits, drove one kid to attempt suicides. I don't talk to him anymore. I abused people. I was generally just kind of a dick to everyone. Yeah, seems like you haven't changed that much. I wasn't the best person either, so She's literally in between these ages right now. She's 15, saying this. She's trying to relate to her to be like a good friend, but this just highlights the difficulty that people of these different age ranges can have trying to relate to one another because she doesn't have the same experience that she does. You know what I mean? And I can say that looking back at my life, I used to be a dick too when I was, you know, maybe not quite up to the age of 16, but probably more like 12 to 14, maybe 15, you know. But like, it's something that I look back on. It's not something that I would expect someone around that age range to understand. You know what I mean? It's just not something that I would talk to them about because I can't. I just don't see any reason for me to do that. And I might be, maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I feel like I'm not. I feel like there's really no other reason to be talking about this besides grooming. I guess that's like the past now. Yeah, I wouldn't dwell on it. Gotta focus on like now. This incident genuinely struck a bit of fear of her into my heart. She elaborated on the situation in a voice chat, telling me that she told this kid to turn on his camera so she could watch while he attempted. If you asked me today, I would not be able to tell you why I kept speaking to her. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of glossed over that when I first read it. I do realize now she said drove one kid to attempt suicide. I probably shouldn't have glossed over that when I was saying like, yeah, I was kind of a dick too when I was that age. But oh my fucking god, this is awful. This is the bottom of the worst kind of humanity. Oh shit, that's awful. That is gut wrenching to read. I really hope that kid's doing okay. Conversation with Kane Carter regarding a video. Joke asking Kane where he lives. Okay, so I don't think these are just okay. I low-key read this like this is actually what it was saying, but this is just like covering up, I guess, the actual conversation. Please, his time is on his Skype. Don't mention I said that to anyone. I don't know his Skype even. I did do something pretty bad like a year ago. I sort of figured out where Daco lived, like on Google Maps. I know Daco. He's like a YouTuber. How in the world? Yeah. There's this thing called Periscope, which is owned by Twitter. It's like a streaming thing. Daco streamed once and it stated where he was streaming from. And yeah, that's okay. I don't really see the point of talking about that. This is kind of a weird thing to do. Not kind of a weird thing to do. That actually is just a very weird thing to do, but whatever. Another major area of friction involved my current boyfriend at that time. I really don't know why, but she was incredibly jealous of him to the point where she would lash out rudely and angrily at him for no reason. I believe now that she was so jealous because I was spending time with someone who was not her. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I don't think I need to even add anything to that. She became incredibly obsessed with me within a very short time. The friendship quickly became codependent, but I felt obligated to help because that's what friends are supposed to do, not even realizing how truly out of my depth this is. Venting became an everyday occurrence, oftentimes multiple times a day, and I was expected to help her. She would often ask me to make promises that things would/wouldn't come true, and would only calm down once she heard the answer she wanted to hear. This would become a lot more prevalent later. That sounds very controlling. Um, Very controlling because obviously, this person making that promise about what I'm assuming is a hypothetical is, it's not like in her control. I think Jody just wants to see that, she will do what she tells her to do if she um, begs and pleads enough, gains enough sympathy, I guess. She's like freaking out, having a panic attack. It might not even be real, but she's doing it to see, if I show this person that I'm having a crisis or like a breakdown, I can get them to do what I want. That's what that seems like to me. I can't be nice to myself, though I don't deserve kindness. I deserve all the kindness in the world. No, I don't. I'm a piece of shit. No, you're not. Yes, I am. I can do this all day. You know that, right? That's kind of cute. You're not a piece of shit. You're a wonderful person who I'm really happy to be friends with. I'm not that good. I'm still shit. But I haven't seen any proof that you're shit. Well, I guess this conversation was after this. But still, even up to this point, it's just like she's looking at this Jody with rose tinted glasses. You know what I mean? And those are that's very a scary thing to think about because red flags just look like flags. You know what I mean? When you look up to this person and you're thinking, damn, she's so cool. I want to be so much like her. Like, I'm sure that when the writer of the document said that she was jealous of Jody, that was actually true, right? Because she said that she thought she was really cool and looked up to her. But yeah, this is, you know, I don't know. It's not. There's nothing wrong with. Well, I'm not gonna say there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not like your fault if you're blind to things like that in the moment. You know what I mean? There are no redeeming qualities about me. I feel like I'm fucking worthless. That's not true. Yes, it is. It is true, and she knows it. She just wants you to say that it's not. Nope, it is. 6 days after I first met her. Yeah. And honestly, I've known a lot of people that like start like venting and like kind of sharing a lot of personal information like quickly. You know, but like not really in this fashion. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I don't think it's a good thing. It's not something that I would do. I wouldn't like be talking like this to someone that I just met. But if someone was talking to me like this with no other context, I wouldn't be like, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't really like judge them too harshly for that because a lot of people are just in really bad places. But with again, you have to take all of this and like put it all into context together. You know what I mean? You can't take any of it, and some of it out of context is bad on its own. But like the really important thing is to take all these conversations, even the innocent ones, and put them together to make the story. You know what I mean? This is not like I don't know. I'm kind of yapping right now. Whatever. Hug, 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 hug. I can't wait to hear all the little details about how it feels too. This is so interesting to me. I don't know what she's talking about. I'm gonna describe everything to you. This sounds weird. I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. This sounds weird. Good, because I'm very curious. I won't get too personal if you don't want. Basically, like no, no, I know. Wait, what the fuck? Yeah, that would be weird. You're 15. Okay, yeah. Acknowledging this here, I guess, in an effort to seem like more normal, you know. But obviously, saying like, "Wait, I shouldn't be talking about this to you." You're 15, and then continuing to talk like that is not, doesn't count as being the mature person in the situation. Am I overthinking this? You might be. I'm not sure. Just know I'm not totally clueless. I'm a lot more mature than what others my age. I think most people this age think this about themselves. The majority of people around this age think that they're more mature than the people around them. And I've noticed that that is kind of the death of a lot of like friendships between them. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of why I think a lot of them look up to people that are more like Jody's age. You know what I mean? They look up to them because they think that they're like cool and they're like not childish. You know what I mean? And that is what the person that actually is a child wants to be like, and they see themselves that way. And that's something that groomers can take advantage of very easily because they're like, oh yeah, no, you're a lot more mature than other people your age, and that makes it seem more okay that they're talking about these things with you, you know. But the truth is, it's not. It's like I'm not saying this is an easy thing to accept as someone this age, but at the end of the day, you're not special. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of things that make everyone special, but you're not special in the sense that like, you know, this could never happen to you. You know what I mean? You're not special in the sense that like I don't know. You just generally, if you think you're a lot more mature than people your age, just don't think that. Even if people tell you that, you know what I mean? it's just not really healthy. You know, it's good to stay humble. Okay, basically, genital stuff. Oh, okay. So this is about something freaky. I was right. Okay. Won't get into that if you don't want to hear about it. She did. Okay. Generally hurts me to look back at what the fuck was I thinking. We're talking about her going on HRT. Okay. Oh, so they're talking about what it feels like to go on HRT. And she started talking about genital stuff. Okay, great. Great. That's amazing. Okay, this isn't fair. I'm sorry. It's good. I just wish I was a cis girl. I know it's really not. I understand how upsetting that could be. It is kind of. Hopefully, eventually, it's possible. I really want you to have that. You deserve that. I just want to. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to make that noise when I said the word vagina. I just fucking choked on air. That was really poor timing. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just want a vagina so bad. Yeah, again, valid feelings for someone going through this, not valid things to be talking about with someone this much younger than you that you just met. Was it 7 days ago now? A week ago? A week after meeting this 15-year-old, she's talking about, I want a vagina so bad. Like, what the fuck? I'm laying down again. I just want to be happy. Just having a bit of a hiccup right now. You'll feel better soon enough. This is good advice, honestly, most of the time. The problem is she can't feel better if she doesn't want to feel better. You know what I mean? She low key and again, I'm not saying that any of these feelings that she's talking about are like not real, but I think she wants them to be true so that she has a way to gain sympathy. You know, so you can never feel better if you don't want to feel better. If you're using this as like your way of gaining pity and gaining a person's trust, you're obviously not going to change. She's not going to make any effort to like change her mindset or be happy. My fucking stupid dick, especially right now, it's uncomfortable as hell. I just want it gone. Again, she's saying this to a 15-year-old. Okay, I'm not trans, so I have no reason to ever say this, but I still feel the need to say that I cannot imagine in any context, in any universe, never in my life have I thought it would be a good thing to say this to like anyone. Like, I mean, again, I'm not trans. It's not what I believe. Like, I'm a cisgender male. I'm okay with having a dick. I like having a dick, but like, it's just I just can't imagine being this person and be like thinking this is a normal thing to be talking about. Or maybe she knows it's not normal. Whatever. It doesn't really matter if she knows or not. She should know. What are you gonna be busy with? I kind of do a silly thing with my partner. We call at night, talk and fall asleep together. That's nice. It's a bit dumb, but yeah, it's not dumb, but she's probably gonna agree that it's dumb. Oh no, she said it's fair. I'm so sorry. She's already. I feel like she's already apologizing here because she knows that Jody's gonna get jealous, which is kind of just goes to show that she is definitely aware of the negative things that Jody does, but is kind of just you know kind of sees them more as like quirks than like really like actual bad traits. That doesn't mean we can't talk later sometimes though, right? Like last night. Okay. I'm kind of jealous for some reason. I don't know why. Why would you say this to a 15-year-old? Like what? I understand that. I know how that feels. Try not to talk about it too much. Sorry, I know that's kind of a bad thing for me to say. Yeah, it is. It is a bad thing. It's not. It is. Or maybe I'm just feeling really protective of you. I don't know. Ew. Ew. No. Sorry if that sounds bad. I'm sure he's nice. Ew. That's just so. That's just so gross. I mean, No, no, that's no, no. That's just so bad. She doesn't know anything about this person. All she said was that we usually call at night and talk and fall asleep together, and she's like, "I'm getting protective of you." Like maybe it would make sense if she was talking about like being abused or being treated poorly in her relationship, you know, because it's okay to be protective of friends, but it's like she's saying she's getting protective. Protective of what? Like, what are you protecting her from? You're the thing that she needs to be protected from, not her partner. You fucking freak. I often felt uncomfortable mentioning my then boyfriend or saying I was doing anything with him because of jealous interactions like this. Makes sense. Hey, hi. Hey, listen, I didn't mention it earlier because I didn't want to think it was your fault, and it's not, I promise. I was sort of crying over my voice earlier because I'm super jealous of yours, and it made me sort of really upset when I realized I don't sound anywhere near your voice. What is the point of saying this if you don't think it's her fault? I feel like either you would be saying this because you do think it's her fault, and you're like, not that it is, but like if you actually believe that, then you might be like mad. But it's either that or just like just the constant emotional draining. You know what I mean? It's just like that's so weird. This level of jealousy towards every aspect of me is incredibly scary. It is very scary and very weird. You know, seriously, this sucks. My body dysphoria is so bad now. Fucking hell, this sucks. I'm so upset. I'm so sorry. This isn't even like the person writing this isn't even trans, as far as I know. I mean, I feel like it's implied that she's not because she's like, I wish I was cis. I wish I was like you. But it's like this is just not. There's nothing that would lead you to believe that this person could relate to your experiences, but you're still choosing to vent to her over everyone else. It's such a weird like obsession. For the first time, I finally understand like being trapped in the wrong body. Like I get that now because I am. It's another thing I'm jealous about you, I guess. You were lucky to be born in the right body. Yikes. I'm glad we're best friends. Still can't believe that. I'm really glad you like talking to me. She sent a message or two here and deleted when I didn't not instantly respond. No clue what it said. So I said, well, yeah, okay. I'm sorry. There's something I'm scared to talk about because I don't want to accidentally upset you or make you feel bad. Just literally doing this again, I guess. You don't have to be scared to talk to me. It's okay. It's about your boyfriend. What's up with him? No, nothing like that. It's stupid. Well, what is it? Because now I'm gonna worry. I don't know. I'm just jealous or something. Not healthy at all. Sorry. Here, let's talk about it so it doesn't bug you as much. This is a good lord. I really hope that this person's parents are proud of them for the way that they're handling this because this is an amount of empathy that I wish more people in the world had. But at the end of the day, like this is just not something that you should be entertaining. You know what I mean? Like this is a very nice sentiment to have and a very nice thing to say. But when it comes to something like this, if it's not bugging her, that probably means that it's bugging you, right? So she might feel like she's not being bugged by it if she tells you how she feels, but you are going to be bugged by the thought that she feels like that all the time. You know what I mean? And the fact there's nothing really you can really do about it unless you like break up with your partner or something. Which is like, at first it might seem like obviously you're not going to do that, but then at a certain point it might be like, who do I value more? Right? And it's like, it's just a very confusing situation. She's putting you in a confusing situation on purpose. And it's just very weird. You sure? I'm sure. Okay, so what's up? I'm just scared that eventually you'll just want to talk to him and not me anymore. I want to keep being your best friend for a really long time, and I'm scared of losing you. Obviously don't know the context behind all of this, but I have seen no reason for her to reasonably believe that she'll be losing her. You know, I can maybe understand like not liking that someone like wants to spend time with someone else over you like all the time. But you can tell when it's kind of an unhealthy obsession when it's like they are balancing their time between the both of you, and she is talking to you plenty. But it's just like the fact that she's talking to someone else at all. It's not even really the fact that she's not talking to you. It's more about the fact that it's like talking to someone else. You know what I mean? She's like Jody doesn't want another person to be having that attention because she craves it so badly. That won't happen. It's not gonna happen. I'm just really scared. Her jealousy of 15-year-old's relationship is concerning. Remember, I was 15. Yeah. I never told anyone this, but I might be ace/arrow. I don't believe that at all. I definitely don't believe she's asexual. She's a fucking groomer. But yeah, I think it's very likely that she derives pleasure of some sort, sexual or not, from having conversations like this with this person. And it's very gross to think about, but it's likely the truth, in my opinion. The reason I bring it up, that's why I'm so jealous of you and your boyfriend, because that's something I can never experience with anyone. That's not what aromantic means, though. Aromantic doesn't mean you don't get that ever experience. Like, you wouldn't, if you're actually aromantic, you wouldn't want a relationship. That's what that means, right? Am I stupid? Person who experiences little or no romantic attraction to others. Yeah, I don't think you would be jealous of someone that's in a relationship if you were aromantic. I've been crying so much over it. Oh my god, shut up about you fucking crying. I was on his DeviantArt, and when your anniversary drawing, you made an burst into tears. Thanks. An example of her fear of not having a crush. This was a really common topic in our conversations early on. She was extremely jealous of me and my relationship all the time. She would obsess over her jealousy and these issues she makes up for herself, but then literally less than an hour later acts like she's figured it all out. She's sorry and won't happen again. Well, it did, constantly. Hey, also, I think the reason I don't fully get crushes yet is why I was so jealous. Before you explained it, I just thought having a crush on someone was the same feeling as being friends, but just amplified a ton. Okay, I guess. It feels a bit different. Yeah, it does feel very different. So I was kind of really scared you just saw him as a better friend than me. Okay, I guess. It's kind of weird. Doesn't really make sense, but okay. So I was asking you so much. We were definitely best friends, just you and I. Sorry about that. This is when the same hour as the image above. Oh, it is. Wow. Like not even 40 minutes later. Yeah, so page are we on? 17. All right, we're getting through it. We're getting through it. What's wrong? Look to your boyfriend's DeviantArt again. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. This is not your fault. Oh my god, the constant like, it's not your fault, but she like obviously is gonna think it's her fault. She's like making her think it's her fault. Why do you look at it if it's obsessive? How do you even find it? I don't know. I have a jealousy problem. This is more logic than you know is gonna be like. How do I say this? She wasn't expecting you to be logical about it. You know what I mean? I just wish I was you so much. She wanted to be me. This is so fucking creepy. That's very creepy. This is not like, it's just so not a normal like friendship. You know what I mean? And I'm sure she saw it that way at that point, but Jody is just very predatory. And by she I mean the writer, not Jody. I'm sure Jody knows how unnormal this is. Unnormal. Is that a real word? Maybe it's not. Hey, listen, I'm gonna take a shower for a bit. I'll be back in 20. Okay. She was back in 20. Shit, sorry. It was longer than I thought. It was literally less time than she thought. No, not less time, but like a couple minutes longer. Sorry, I'm not good at math. That was 20 minutes, yeah. Oh, my bad. I guess she's even worse than math than me. It's okay. Wait, fuck, ignore me. Sorry. Is she fucking drunk right now? What are all these goddamn typos? Like, fuck. Odds. Why are you panicking right now? You literally haven't done anything to upset me. I'm just sitting here. I am honestly, this is the first time thus far reading this where I can personally relate to this. I genuinely like. There have been so many times, especially there's actually a person that I talk to a lot right now, um, and it just like they're nothing like I'm not comparing them to Jody at all, nothing, not even close at all. But just like I related to the feeling of just like nothing's really happening, but they just kind of like freak out as if it's like way worse than it is, and I don't really know how to calm them down. You know, so again, not like comparing them to Jody at all, but I'm just saying I understand like what this feeling is like, and to imagine feeling that like basically every day because that's her like way of manipulating her. It's very like I don't know. I just like thinking about how stressful this like was for her at the time was like very it's hard to imagine. Don't worry, sorry, I'm being really paranoid. Fuck, there's nothing to worry about. Just give me a bit. I'll be on in a few. Sorry about that. I have showered. I'm fresh, feeling relaxed. I'm gonna tidy my room a bit. Okay. Hopefully it helps you knowing that I'm helping myself feel better. I'm mostly just confused. What do you mean? Like what happened just a couple minutes ago? Don't worry about it. Legitimately just paranoid. I overthink a lot. It was stupid. Sorry about that. The heck happened here? I genuinely have no idea. But she went from being freaked out to being completely fine within just a few minutes, and I have no idea why. Stuff like this was constant through our entire relationship, and maybe now you can see what I mean by her using me as her therapist. Oh yeah, definitely. And I've considered myself for multiple people to be like a therapist friend. You know what I mean? But it's not like this. Like this is not healthy at all because it's just pure like insanity. Like none of it makes sense, and it's just constant, and it like this is genuinely a person that needs professional help badly because this is not she's not presenting herself as a functioning member of society even slightly to me. This is just like just very weird. Sounds good. You still up for VC, or if you're not feeling it right now, it's fine. I guess stop moping and get up. You're not moping. Also, I was having a panic attack earlier. I was gonna say something really stupid to your boyfriend. That's something I would have regretted definitely. She brings this up for like no reason. Like, what's the point of saying I almost said something that I really regretted? Like, I don't know. Whatever. Sorry that was random. I just wanted to say hi. I don't think we really talked before. Yeah, the writer has been talking to me, and she was worried that we might not get along from past experiences with Black. I don't know who that is. I don't know if we've seen that color yet. But, like, you seem really cool and nice. I want to make sure she knows I'm happy talking to you. Sorry if any of this sounds weird. I'm not good at first impressions sometimes. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If I was the boyfriend, this would be a very bad first impression. But whatever. Not the worst thing she's done. Wanted to say something really horrible to your boyfriend, but I didn't, and I'm telling you this. Yeah, that's pretty much what I got from this. But even what she did say is still like weird. It's not. Uh, it's so weird. I just get weird vibes from all of this. And I'm sure that she was too. Like at least weird vibes, but it's not like hateful weird vibes. You know what I mean? It's more just like pity, and that's what she like thrives on. You know what I mean? That's sympathy. Sorry for going on about crushes and stuff for so long. I don't mean to. No, no, no. I don't mind it. Oh, good. I'm just figuring out a lot about myself right now. Like, apparently, trans people find it really hard to crush on people if they're not thinking of themselves as a preferred gender with their crush. Kind of sounds accurate to me. It's kind of interesting to think about. Question mark? Yeah, I didn't really understand that, but it's still. Like, all my life, I've hardly had a crush on anyone because I thought of myself as a guy at the time. And I couldn't imagine myself as a guy being happy in a relationship with anyone else, but imagining myself as a girl was way better and more fitting to me or something. Okay, kind of makes sense now. That's kind of interesting. Yeah. She's feeling really jealous. Gosh, she uses the word all the time. I just kind of wish I was you sometimes. Heh. I hate that she says heh like all the time. Like like the more I see her like trying to like be the therapist for Jody, this comes off across as like more and more drained every time. Like she's not even like she's clearly not happy about this relationship at all. Whether or not she realizes how bad of a person Jody is, or whether or not she realizes that Jody is like making her unhappy, like this is clearly not something that she enjoys being in at all. And it's just like I don't read this as like how come, what's up? I read it as like how come, what's up? Because it's like it's just time for your daily rant because she does this all the fucking time. This is God. This is very bad to read. I just want to be you so bad. I wish I was you. I just wish I was you. I want to be so bad. I want to be you. I want to be you. It's all I want. Okay, this is getting to the point where she's not even like, yeah, this is extremely concerning stuff. How much she's talking about this, with the frequency and like the way that she's talking about it, and like, I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see how over time they start to like hide it less and less. You know what I mean? Like their true intentions. Like they've known each other for a couple months now, and it's just like she feels more comfortable with the writer of the document. Um, so she's starting to be like, you know, to be more upfront, but not like fully upfront, obviously, but still like it becomes more clear later on and on. But at the same time, I guess becomes less clear to the victim because they're getting deeper and deeper into the relationship, and it becomes harder and harder to say that you like don't trust them or whatever. Looking at your boyfriend's Twitter, you sent a picture. Look at this instead. I'm excited. I'm just trying to focus on my fucking breath right now. I'm just trying to push the pain out. I cannot imagine what this is, but okay. Trying to stay calm, nothing's wrong. It's not that I'm specifically jealous of you and your boyfriend. I just really want something like that for myself. It's not even like she's jealous of people in relationships either. It's like always you and your boyfriend. I'm jealous of your boyfriend. I'm jealous of you. I want to be you. It's like, so weird. I'm getting a bit worried again. I'm really scared that I'm not attracted to anyone. Trust me when I say that you will find someone. They'll be the best person you'll ever met. I really hope so. I just wish it could happen sometime soon. Constant topic. I noticed that it's a constant topic. I've definitely noticed. Can't stop thinking about you and your boyfriend again. I'm kind of getting drained just reading this shit. Like, holy shit, we're at 25 out of 121. God. I don't want to skip anything important, but like, I want to see everything. Like Minecraft. Probably boyfriend. Oh, I asked that. Sorry. My boyfriend. It's also unrelated friend. Pretty much anyone who joins. I don't really know what's wrong with me. I want to stop feeling jealous of you and your boyfriend. Like she's just talking about Minecraft, and she has to bring this up, and she's not. There's no way she's sorry about it. If she was sorry about it, she would make even the slightest bit of effort to not do it over and over again. I, Jody Rose blank, am holding you, your full real name, to you, crossing your heart that I shall one day have a crush on someone. Why does she know your full real name? That's so wrong. God, I'm just sitting and scrolling through your boyfriend's DeviantArt for, I don't know, like, don't make me come over there and hug you, Jodes. This is so sweet. This person deserves a real friend that's not like this. I'm really sad that, like, I'm glad that this person is, like, you know, better now, and is able to look back on this and see the red flags and is no longer in a relationship like this. But it's still, it's heartbreaking to think about the fact that this person will never get, like, those years back. You know what I mean? And victims of grooming like this will never get those years to, like, go back and do things differently or, like, spend time with different people or I don't know. I think that's why it's very important to for people to be knowledgeable about this because you know there's only so much that like growing and like learning to cope can do. You still can't go back in time, and that still is always going to be a permanent. It's always going to have a permanent effect on the victim. Um, but yeah, this is very sad. I just keep thinking he's a way better artist than I am, and he's in a happy relationship. He's cis. Should we leave him be? He did nothing wrong. Okay, I'm glad she's standing up for him a little bit here. But I didn't mean he to do anything wrong. I know, but you can't obsess over him in a negative way like this. It's not good. It doesn't make you feel good. She's starting to like kind of see it, but still not really see the full picture. You know what I mean? She's starting to like recognize consistent patterns with what Jody's doing, but she's still not seeing it in such a like in the grand scheme of things, like what this actually means for their whole relationship. I'm jealous of both of you. Kind of behavior. Oh, this exact kind of behavior made it incredibly hard for me to be her friend and also continue having a boyfriend. And part of me wonders if that was intentional. It was definitely intentional. For a while, she repeatedly expressed her fear of never getting into a relationship, and it was a fear she would get a crush on me. Weird. Very weird. I'm imagining that your boyfriend at the time was around your age as well, so obsessing about both the people that are again like you have to think about the age difference as well while you're thinking about this. This is not like it almost seems so unhealthy on its own that like doesn't even need to be a grooming situation, but it's just everything about this is wrong. But yeah, I am not wondering if that was intentional at all. There's no doubt in my mind that that was intentional. You know, ideally for her, like if she had her way, you would have broken up with your boyfriend and just only spent time with her, basically. Very early into our friendship, like within a week, Jody started pushing the idea of me being her younger sister and referring to us as basically legally siblings. This is so fucking horrifying for me to look back at. Please remember I was still 15 when she began doing this. Yeah, it's really gross. Because I can imagine a 15-year-old, especially a 15-year-old that doesn't have an older sibling, I mean, I don't know if they do or don't, but, someone that needs a person like that in their life, if, like, someone came down and was, like, kind of like showing themselves as a role model for them, someone to look up to, that can be very, like, good for them. It's something that they want, but it's ultimately just, coming from this kind of person, it's very fucked up. Around the same time, the idea of her coming to visit me IRL also started being thrown around. Around the same time, within a week of their friendship. Yikes. I foolishly justified this in my head at the time as it's just platonic, like guys saying they're bros. But looking back, this was not an appropriate thing to be normalized between a minor and an adult. Yeah. I'm just like your cool older sister or something you can dump your problems on. Like she says that, but it doesn't seem like she's really dumping her problems on Jody at all. It really seemed like there was that one time in the beginning where she like had the falling out with her friend or whatever, and Jody was there for her. But then everything after that has just been Jody venting and just absolutely breaking down about everything. It almost seems like the writer of the document doesn't even have time for their own problems because they have to focus on Jody so much. You know what I mean? Dude, I wish I freaking had a sister. You're like a little sister I never had. But I mean, we're pretty much literally legally sisters anyway. Yeah, just saying the same shit. Taking out the date and the first mention of this idea, March 23rd, 4 days after I first began speaking to her. You're a good sister, you know that. I just want to look after my sister. You're my little sister. I want to be your big sister. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised this hasn't been brought up before, considering how often she says this. I'm surprised we haven't gone over this yet. Yeah, she says it a lot. Oh my god. I'm so glad I have a little sister to help me out with girl clothes and pretty stuff. I'm always going to have you here to remind me how important of a big sister I am to you. This is so gross. I don't like this at all. You trust your older sister? Can't you trust your older sister? Yikes. Our friendship developed and the codependency grew stronger. Going into this friendships initially, I was really afraid of ending up in some kind of codependent situationship because I had literally just gotten out of a relationship like that with my former friend. That was a horrible mess. Right, and she was there for you to make you feel a little bit better about that temporarily, but then she ultimately ended up being the same thing. That is, wow. I just can't even imagine that. I know that dysphoria is a powerful demon that affects people deeper than I am probably ever capable of imagining. I know that being transgender is hard. It is not ever appropriate to vent heavily about extremely personal and potentially sexual themes to a minor, ever. Yeah, this is the perfect way of saying this. I've said this multiple times, but she said it better than I did. The following contains screenshots of a sexual nature. Okay, this is what I was expecting going into this. We're only on page 34, so buckle up, I guess. I don't know what the fuck that is. Oh, she's really coming along. Class. I think it's just starting to print her hips. Bro, I'm so proud of you. What is this? Hold on, let me read. Why did this interaction need to happen when we were talking about plastic? Okay, I guess no context. Also, hips. It's so gross. Question mark. I don't know. I want hips. Everyone has hips. Dude, this is so stupid. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Oh, it's so weird. Mine are all gross and masculine and shit. Oh, Jody, come on, don't get down. I am but a poor trans girl. I just want boobs and hips. Another thing that no doubt she was jealous of the writer of the document for. But this is just like an extra level of gross because you should not be talking about this to someone this age. Just like, yeah, like why did this need to happen? The only reason they brought up, like, she literally just said hips, like, like, like what? What is wrong with you? Like, sure, I joke like that with my friends that are like my age. If we bring up something sexual, it might be kind of funny, but like this is not appropriate for this person, especially in DMs too. Like, yeah, it's weird. The ladies version I have of this is small, yeah, I think. Oh yeah, give it to me. Be careful what you wish for. I wish for McDonald's. Not like I'd ever bring it over when I come to visit. I never do that. What is she talking about? Fucking dildo or something? I mean, once I transition, I can get rid of one of them. I mean, like, transitioned enough where I've lost enough weight and grown boobs. I know. Anyway, I'll shut up. I didn't understand any of that. I'm not gonna lie, but it looked weird. Um, you gotta teach me about all this stuff. This whole VC is gonna be like what you wanted to do. You said you wanted to help me like pick out clothes and stuff. I'm excited. I really want to teach my big sister all kinds of stuff. Yeesh. I'm really glad I found my baby sister around the same time I began transitioning. I need someone to help me with all this girl stuff. Yeah, this is weird. This is just weird. This is very, very weird. Hello, baby sis. Hi there, big sis. Oh man, I'm really happy with how this model of you turned out. I'm really proud of the body mesh. I think it came out so good. Redacted for privacy. Depicted as a viewport screenshot of a 3D model I made of her. The character is not wearing overclothes, but is still dressed in a sports bra and not revealing underwear. This portion of the model is not really meant to be seen. I was showing this from an artistic standpoint and excited to show off my hard work. Right. Okay. I can already see where this is going. She's cute. She's so adorable. I love her so much. Oh my gosh, I hope this isn't crude of me to say or anything, but it makes me feel so euphoric seeing me modeled with boobs and hips. God, sorry, that's weird. Yikes, dude. That's just, what a mood killer, right? I didn't know this would make you so. Wait, is this the same? Yeah, it's the same conversation. I didn't know this would make you so happy. I was actually so nervous to show you the body mesh while I was modeling because I didn't want to make you uncomfortable. No, I feel the opposite. It makes you feel more like a girl. If you're interested, I got the work in progress model. So my phone has got no clothes or textures. Would that be okay? That wouldn't be weird to show me, would it? Again, I just wanted to share this from an artistic standpoint to show my process. Yeah. Yes. Oh, of course not, but yes. Yeah, this is literally nothing. That's me. That's a girl me. Like, this is literally no, it's not. Like this is not a full human being right now. You're not. Good lord. Okay, either one of those sounds good. Oh my gosh, this. My nipples are starting to get sore just from touching them. Um. Okay. Okay. Just be careful. I don't want you getting too sore or uncomfy, sis. Just be gentle with yourself, alright? No, it means my boobs are coming. What the fuck, dude? What the actual fuck am I reading? Come in. I don't know if I told you that or not. She talks about this a lot. Like, hopefully this isn't weird to say. I hope my boobs are beautiful. Sorry if that's weird. She always says sorry if that's weird, but then, like, I don't know. I'm starting to run out of things to say here. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm kind of speechless by what I'm seeing. I can't wait to stop being trapped in this body. It's all gross and hairy. Be nice to yourself. Come on. I can't. Well, then I'll be nice to you for you. I just want to have a girl's body and I have to go through all this. I know it's hard and it really sucks, but listen, so many others have been successful with their transition, right? I'm saying you won't be. My self-doubt. Oh, I want to get rid of this stupid dick the most. I hate this thing. Just don't ever talk about your dick to a 15-year-old. Like, what? In what context would you need to bring that up? That's so weird. I'm really scared that even if I do get surgery, I regret it. There's a lot of transsexual people that do. And I just know I wouldn't feel that way if I had a vagina to begin with. None of these people would. So I can't even win in that regard. This is just the fucking worst. You're not being forced into surgery or anything. This is all your own decision. You can take as much time thinking as you want. I feel like even people that hated their dick like me, who got the surgery, ended up regretting it. Okay, I'm honestly, I don't really know if I need to read all of these because it's kind of just like more of the same. Our friendship continued in this fashion with every day out of the blue venting and me consoling her. She started hormones at some point in late 2020, and these conversations were more common. She made a private server with me and a couple other friends that she knew. The server lasted for a while, and then I made my own, where most of us ended up moving to. Worryingly, a common question people would ask me was if we were dating. That's very weird that people would ask you that, but not be concerned about the age difference. Kind of, yeah, that's weird. Late 2020 to 2021. In my server, Jody wanted a private channel in VC for herself and people she specifically chose to be in the secret chat. It was initially supposed to be for when she got overwhelmed with VC or something, but the situation spiraled so out of control that the channel got archived forever. I never thought you could recreate class warfare on a Discord server, but I accidentally created a space for that. Oops. To anyone reading this that was a part of that experience, to anyone reading this that was a part of that experience, I'm so sorry. I only had good intentions creating a space for her, but I was 16, and the situation truly spirals beyond something I can handle by myself. I'm not going to dig through that absolute nightmare of a Discord channel for the sake of a lot of people's privacy, but please know I am so truly sorry for foolish things I did when I was 16. The crush. In 2021, I was experiencing homelessness and also serious relationship issues with my then boyfriend. Jody's fear of not having a crush was still a common topic. Yeah, you're going through some serious shit, and obviously she does not actually give a fuck about that. She only cares about her own problems. But however, one day Jody approached me with something that sounded exciting. She said she had a crush on someone who was in a mutual friend of ours who we met her by being a fan of her channel. Things seemed very hopeful. For 3 days. Jody dumped this friend 3 days after admitting a crush to them, and it was horrible. My friend's self-worth was damaged for an extremely long time after this event, and Jody just felt they needed to get over it. The victim was 17 years old when this happened. Jody was 19. I saw this as a horrible abuse of the feelings of an already vulnerable friend of mine, and thinking about the situation still makes me viscerally angry. Yeah, that is very awful. The screenshots below, you can see her change her mind in real time. Interesting. I'm interested to see this. I might have a tiny little crush on Purple, but I don't know. I just think Purple is so sweet. She's so caring. She cares a lot about me. Jody has a tiny little crush on Purple. I'm so happy with Purple, but I still want to spend today with you. I already called Purple baby a few times. Purple, my baby girl, my baby. I really want to get to know her more. I don't know about dating Purple. Yeah. Look at the dates. Literally 3 days. Ouch. Yeah. It's unfortunate. It's literally only been like 3 days. Yeah. I'm not trying to do the worst thing. I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying so hard to be happy. I'm not trying to do anything wrong. I don't know what to say. I'm doing my own relationship stuff too, Jody. You need to do what you feel is right to do. Very good that she's standing up for herself here. I'm terrified to do anything to leave her because I know how horrible it feels to get dumped. When I figure it out, I'm just afraid. I can't let you hurt my friends. And I may not, I may not be very close, but I've seen her feel this happy and affectionate and excited for things, and I just don't want you to just straight up break that without even giving a chance to talk to her. This is literally what I was worried about yesterday, and you told me to give you a chance. Yeah, this is really unfortunate. Yeah, this is a very bad thing for Jody to be doing. I'm trying to think, what could possibly be the reason for this, aside from just plain mental instability. But I don't know, something about it, I kind of doubt that she ever really had a crush on anyone other than the writer. Because that seems like such a, infatuation that it's like, I don't know, it's just kind of hard to believe, but I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. Maybe there's a reason for this. I feel so trapped. I don't want to take that away from her. I don't know what you expect me to do, but you can't play with someone's emotions this way. I'm not playing with her emotions. I'm not trying to do that. This, the typos, it's just like, I don't know. It just kind of seems like an effort to seem like more chill and laid back when that's just really like the farthest from the truth. Yeah. I want to try again. I keep thinking about them. The flip me is so sad. Yeah. A statement from the victim who wishes to remain anonymous. I am the individual who was crushed on. To say this was a rough time in my life would be an understatement. Living in a small transitional house while in the process of moving counties, having little access to my friends, when Jody approached me about having feelings for me, I felt a lot of joy for the first time in months. Unfortunately, that did not last. For months, I held on to hope and feelings that would not again be reciprocated. It made me struggle to figure out how to even approach Jody and left me confused about my feelings. I got so stressed out about life that I was throwing up almost every day. I hope this helps to show Jody her actions affect people. Yeah, very powerful statement there. I kind of doubt that someone like this would ever be moved by a simple statement like that, but still, very respectable that they were able to talk about this, anonymous or not. I'm sure that this was incredibly hard for them to go through and talk about. Late 2021, 2022. In late 2021, without my knowledge, Jody approached one of our mutual friends in a panic. She had a serious admission to make. The following content contains graphic conversations of inappropriate behavior involving a minor. Okay. I'm not even sure how I could possibly preface this. Throughout this document so far, we've seen clear examples of Jody's jealousy and obsession with me, as well as her manipulative tactics with the goal of keeping me as her friend forever. At this point in our friendship, I felt that if I ever voiced any frustration, anger, or generally negative emotion towards her, or something she has done, she would break down and panic and cry and beg for my forgiveness. I felt like I was a bad person if I ever got mad at her. I now know that I was not the only person who felt this way. Everyone involved in what you're about to see wishes they reacted differently. Statement from that person. I have known gomotion for roughly the same amount of time as I've known the writer. I'm not calling them that. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not calling them that. sharing a lot of Discord spaces with them and being within their general friend bubble for years. Although my messages with gomotion were rather brief, some things stick out to me. She would usually call me slurs when I noted that they made me uncomfortable in the past, would raise her voice in VC to me at times, and just generally had a hairpin trigger. And most relevant to what is being discussed in this section, would mostly enter my DMs just to vent about issues. Usually I'm fine with being the friend people vent to, yeah, me too. But it felt excessive at times that she would dump some pretty heavy stuff on me without much of a warning beyond, can we talk? Right, I understand. I understand what it's like to, like, it's like you're fine being that person, but it can be too much. And even if you're the person venting, even if they say like, yeah, I'm here for you, I'll listen to you, there is some responsibility there, and like making sure that they're comfortable with the conversation as well, because it is still a conversation. They're not just like listening. Some of the stuff was pretty weird, but it was nothing as weird as what she confessed to me regarding the writer. She would pleasure herself to art made by them, imagining herself as them, or characters drawn by them in their art. This is obviously extremely gross and odd, and should have set off 500 alarm bells in my mind. However, with the way she would constantly, I don't know what that means, ask for reassurance. Is that a word? Trying so hard you can't type properly. Okay. So, kind of what she's been doing the whole time, I guess, with the typos and everything. Yeah, reassurance that they wouldn't leave her and how scared she was, and manipulated me into feeling like I would be a really bad person if I told her off or came to them about it. To me at the time, it just seemed like an extremely twisted way to cope with dysphoric feelings. And that may still be what it was, but it is still concerning behavior to think and behave like this and behind the back of someone close to you like this. Yeah, very concerning. I've known Jody since about when I joined their server back in 2020. Before that, I had only heard brief things about her and nothing more. We were mutuals for quite a bit. However, when I joined that server, is sort of how I ended up talking to her more. It was refreshing being able to talk to different people due to how bad my trust issues were at the time, and I really enjoyed talking to Jody. I had heard a lot from her other friends regarding her behavior in the past, about 2016, and didn't pay mind to it because it was so long ago and obviously people can change. She was nice to me and I enjoyed talking to her. These are one of those moments where I wish I had listened to my friends. There were often times in VC where she made me feel lesser, insulting me and berating me, even when I was trying to have a genuine conversation. I was a punching bag, but I just had to laugh it off. He broke up with Jody back in December of 2024. Oh, so they were dating? Oh, interesting. That's kind of like farther in time than we're at right now, so I'm a little bit confused, but I guess we'll get to it. During that time, I offered my support as her friend in my DMs. It was a mentally taxing couple of months with a constant back and forth with her, Jody constantly pushing a boundary, and me getting mad at her. I constantly, foolishly believed that she would change, and every time it felt like that change was occurring, she'd fall right back in the same holes she dug. The breaking point for me was a friend telling me Jody saw the writer interacting with a trans woman on Blue Sky. This also indirectly confirmed she was still stalking them, despite me telling her over and over not to. She took what the trans woman was saying to them as flirtatious and began shit-talking her, saying things vile she doesn't even pass. This was only back in May. With that happening, as well as her total transphobic rants on Twitter, I knew things weren't going to change. Since then, I have blocked her on everything and haven't spoken to her since. Very interesting that she, being a trans person herself, that has confided so much about her own body dysphoria, would say something like that to another trans person. It's disgusting. Very disgusting. I mean, disgusting for anyone to say, but it's just, you know, imagine the inability to imagine that same thing being said to you is just, it's very unfortunate. I witnessed a lot of my friends do everything in their power to support Jody and make sure she was okay, especially with her constant need to freak out in her mutual server. No, all those friends do not talk to her. She needs to be held accountable for every single one of her actions, no matter what happens next. If you're reading this, Jody, I'm sorry I ever trusted you. One more warning for graphic sexual conversations involving a minor. The following screenshots may be highly distressing to read. Okay. I think I can handle it, but I guess a warning to anyone watching this. I can tell you if you'd like, but you gotta promise not to tell anyone else. Okay, so this is the person she had a crush on before, the same color. Go ahead, I promise not to say. I'm a terrible fucking person. Why do you say that? So there's this thing called, with a little NSFW, it's not outright gross, just, yeah, I'm fine with it. Okay, so autogynephilia is something where trans girls get off to the idea of themselves being a girl. Okay, I think that's the name for it anyway, and I have that. Have that. Otherwise, I'm totally asexual, except due to mental illness and my fragile low self-esteem and self-image. Half the time, I don't imagine myself as myself. I imagine myself as another girl and get off to that. And I'm really fucking scared that I'm a really bad person for that because it's been happening since I was 11, and recently only recently did I realize how fucking awful that is. It's happened with girls that I've been friends with, and I feel nothing but shame and guilt. And I know the only way to fix it is to fix my self-image so that I only get off to myself and nobody else. And I'm gonna work so hard to do that. See, I think this is just such a weird thing to bring up because it's all in your head. You know what I mean? I don't really see any real reason why. You know, I mean, I'm not saying this to like defend her actions or anything, but I don't see any real reason why she would feel guilty about that. You know, I mean, well, I guess there's the age difference, but she doesn't seem to care about that too much. Like, I don't know, it just seems like something that's like, it's kind of all in your head. It's not like something that anyone's ever going to know about, but you're choosing to tell them about it. It's like, I feel like it's just more of a weird fetish to like talk about, you know what I mean? And I might be wrong about that. Again, I'm not a psychologist, but like, I feel like she just likes, ranting about stuff like this, and she likes talking about it, even though she acts like she doesn't and acts like she's like having mental breakdowns. It's really just like, you know, I don't know. That's the way that I view it. I'm scared. I'm a scum of the earth. I can't stop crying. Fuck. Hey, it's okay. What happens in your brain subconsciously because of how it works. It doesn't reflect you as a person, and you, even yourself, see it as a bad thing, but it's just uncontrollable. But it's happening with them. I was 17 when she admitted this initially. Okay. Wait. It's 2021 now. So, okay. I guess that makes sense. So Jody should be 20 now, I guess. She was, um, yeah. Sorry if you need to zoom in and read these. Yeah, okay. She's 20 talking about 70. Yeah. And obviously not just, the ages at that point need to be taken into consideration, but obviously like the amount of time they spent together, how young she was initially when they first met, and how she was talking about her being her sister and everything. It's very, very concerning. She's my sister. She's my sister. I love her platonically and platonically only. I don't see her as anything else. I get it, but it's not you. It's your brain. Purple is trying really hard here to rationalize this, and I respect it a lot, but it's not worth it. I feel like a fucking awful friend. I don't want to be a bad person. You aren't a bad person. I don't want her to hate me. I don't want her to stop being friends with me. She wouldn't hate you. I don't think she ever would. Feel sick. She understands you as a person. She would also understand that it happens subconsciously in your brain. Trust me when I say you aren't a bad person. But she'd feel disgusted. See, again, this is another thing where, like, I think Purple is right. I don't think she would actually, like, I think given how close she is to Jody, and given how all these people feel like they have a responsibility over Jody, you know, it's kind of like hard to hate her in a way because it's like hating her would make you feel like a bad person, or criticizing her would make you feel like a bad person, you know, because of like how she's presenting herself as being in such a horrible place. So I don't think that the writer of the document would have hated her for that. I think Purple is right in saying that, but again, I think it's just something. I think Jody just likes. I think Jody likes the thought of this. I think Jody likes the idea that she's doing something wrong. You know what I mean? And that's something for a lot of people. A lot of people like the idea of like being a little bit wrong, especially when it comes to like sexual things. You know, but it's like, for some people that might be like having sex in a public bathroom or something. Like it wouldn't be it wouldn't be like this where it's just like emotional manipulation to the highest possible degree. Like this is like so extremely disgusting behavior. It's yeah. Yeah. Heavy guilt tripping. It's unfair. I've already been through enough. Why do I have to go through this? Yeah. So Jody spoke to the person above about this in August 2021. She did not admit this to me until March 2022. She kept this hidden from me for years, going behind my back and telling my friends to keep this horrible secret from me. Even when she did finally admit in March 2022, she didn't tell the entire truth. She made this confession to me in a voice call, which I realize now opened me up even further to manipulation. I cannot get any evidence of this call, but there are messages from after when we speak about it. Jody again approached the same friend in a panic in March 2022 after not speaking to them for 2 months. Okay, about halfway through, not quite halfway, but fuck. I didn't mean to cut you off after so long. I'm sorry I did. Right now, I'm a bit panicky, and I need to talk to you about something because you're one of the people I told is serious. It's right in your space. What's happening? Uh, when Ryder and I first met, she would draw like me in pretty dresses and stuff, and it made me feel euphoric and awesome and valid. You remember what I told you about this identity issues with me, mixed with autogonophilia or whatever it's called, like a year ago, and how I'd imagine myself as a girl. And okay, she's kind of just giving her a refresher, a recap of the episode. I told her about the drawings she made and how I'd time myself. Look at them and so imagine myself looking like that. She's having a tough time processing that. But she only knows about the drawings. She doesn't know I imagine myself as her or that I imagine myself as anybody else. She asked what I told her, and I said you and white, but I never told you and white about that. I only told you about imagining myself as other girls thing, which is arguably worse. And I'm fucking scared of hurting her and losing her. Yeah, I mean, she just keeps lying. Like, I mean, not the biggest lie that she's ever told in her whole life, but still, like, this is very like she's openly admitting to being manipulative, and that's like part of the manipulation. Is the crazy thing. It's an effort to like confuse. I think. Yeah, I agree with this. In all honesty, it's not something you really need to discuss or even bring up. Genuinely, trying my absolute hardest to imagine myself in Jody's place here, or just imagine myself in a place of a person who experiences autogonophilia or whatever it is, and imagine myself with other people. You know, I just would never. I would never talk about it with them. Like, I just don't understand what benefit that could possibly bring for them knowing about it. It's not like they can, you know, stop you, right? Like you can't even stop yourself. It's your brain doing the work. You know what I mean? So again, I just feel like she's talking about it because she likes talking about it, and that's it. Um, Hold on. If she has it all, and I very much doubt she will, but if she does, it was a drawings thing just for now. She never told me about this and hid it from me forever. Nice. Oh no, I'm worried it was every time I made a drawing of you, like the ones I made of us, and no, 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 Jesus, no, 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 absolutely not. I promise, God, I promise. I don't know how to feel about the drawings I was making for you as a friend being used as, I don't know. I know I said I didn't care, but now I'm actually processing it. I was making those things for you to show that I care and that I adored you and stuff, and because I wanted you to feel like a girl. They did, they absolutely did. Not in that way, they absolutely did. In the regular gender euphoria happiness sense, they really, really did. I don't know. I'm upset that you were getting off to this stuff, and I literally had no idea. And I feel like I don't know who I can even talk about this to. Watching me try to justify this is so sad. Yeah, it is. Uh, it's not like I can tell mom. Yikes. Yikes. You definitely should always tell a trusted adult about this kind of stuff like this. You know, I mean that's the best advice I can give. But some people, they don't have parents that they can trust. They don't have adults in their life that they can trust, and that's really the saddest part. you know, like it's not that terrible. You're not a pedo because there was a really small age difference between us and stuff. But no. 18 and 15 is pedo territory, if you ask me. I'm disgusted at the time she was doing these horrible acts. She was calling me her sister, and here she's still doing it. She admitted that she had done this when I was 15 with non-sexual art I made of her as a platonic friend. She did not tell me she imagined herself as me while pleasuring herself. She hid this from me through our entire relationship. It is one of the most deeply horrifying things I have ever learned. Yikes. I mean, I'm saying I can imagine, but I really can't imagine, honestly. This is very, very visceral wording here. Deeply horrifying. I don't know. I've never been in a situation even similar to this. This is very, very scary to read about. I promise my love for you is purely, purely platonic. It always has been. Oh, she's not talking to her here. She's talking to someone else. My lips are completely sealed as they always have been. Well, you've stopped all that, yeah. And you've told them you've stopped all that. She might have a hard time processing it, but I'm sure this isn't the end or anything. She loves having all these people wrapped around her finger, for sure. All these people are giving her like the same advice and being like, "Oh yeah, no, I'll be here for you." They don't even know about each other. It's crazy. I'm gonna have a panic attack. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, uh this is horrifying. Okay, I wish I could say that the nightmare ended here, but literally the same day she admitted this to me, she also spoke to me about flights and coming to visit during the summer. It was an extremely awkward time to confess such a vile thing to me. My emotions were torn. I was disgusted, but she seemed so sorry. Looking back, this was never ever acceptable. I'm fucking furious that this disgusting secret was hidden from me through our entire relationship. I feel violated and sick. Jody arrived in my state for a visit in June 2022. I was still in a relationship, thought it was not going so great, or though it was not going so great, and I just turned 18 the month before. The first couple of days seemed normal, I guess. We went on a hike at the local park and came back home. Jody had been complaining that her legs hurt, and when I asked why, she said it was all from the walking she was doing, which seemed reasonable to me. Later that afternoon, after we had gotten home and my mom was out of the house, she admitted that that was a lie. Wait, what? Playing her leg, okay. Her legs hurt because she was constantly stretching and flexing them to redirect blood away from the erections she kept getting around me. She would consistently cover her lower half with blankets or sheets or pillows. Okay. I don't know why I ever kissed her. This was the biggest mistake I made in my life. I was still in a relationship and I basically broke up with that guy and got with her the exact same day. I was definitely rebounding hard, but looking back, I kind of feel now like I was groomed. Like this is what she wanted the entire time. It was absolutely what she wanted the entire time, and you are right for feeling that. It has been clear to me, at least since the beginning, that this is a grooming situation. Jody met me during an extremely stressful and vulnerable time in my life. She established herself as extremely close friends with me. She spoke about sexually inappropriate kind of yeah. All these things. Her arguments of me being a platonic sister all completely go out the window when you consider that we dated for 2 years. Jody visited me for 2 or 3 more times after this. Honestly, each visit was worse than the last. Second time she visited, we all got COVID. She would weaponize her anxiety against me and use others as a means of getting attention, refusing food and worrying everyone in the house until I would go and comfort her. The third time she visited, we tried to go to Canada and have a nice time, but Jody was totally miserable the whole trip, apparently, even though I thought we were having a nice time. The end of that trip was horrible. We ended up trapped in Canada for an extra day. The fourth and last time she visited, she was using my home as transitional housing, while her parents looked for a new apartment for her in the UK. Originally, she was only going to stay for 4 weeks. She ended up staying an entire extra month, running out of her medication, which then became an issue for everyone else in the house to deal with. She continued to weaponize her anxiety and stress against me and my mother over choices that she made. I didn't cry when she left that year. After we had dropped her off at the airport and gone home, Jody began messaging me, I think on Twitter or Snapchat, desperately begging for me to come back and pick her up and take her back home. She didn't want to go back to the UK. She told me she had run out of the check-in area and out of the airport entirely and continued begging me to come get her. I was frustrated and angry. Her ass needed to go home. She had been living in my room for the past 2 months. This massively reinforced my issues with her obsession over me and her cleanliness, which is the topic of our next discussion. Jody's all-consuming obsession. Kind of seems like that's been the topic the whole time, but Jody's company was often suffocating. Wherever I was, she also had to be. She wanted to be in every voice chat I was in, every server, so that she could be with me, all the time. I would get home from work and immediately she would ping me begging me to join VC. I work a job where I am standing for 7 hours of the day and I suffer from scoliosis. It was a frustrating and exhausting feeling being expected to spend every single free moment of my day and night with her. She always expected me to call her every single night while we slept. I could never say no because she would break down and beg and plead with me too. So many times we would start a call just for her to start crying. I usually started to console her, but eventually I reached my limit. I was never able to hang out with her or any of my other friends, sorry. I was never able to hang out with any of my other friends. She would often be extremely aggressive towards other people we hung out with, would mute and deafen every time I stepped away, and not even make an effort to converse with others in the call. My other friends would often come to me with complaints about her aggressive and rude behavior. 99% of the time, her aggression was entirely unwarranted and out of pocket. This is really interesting, because I talked about before how she was being super rude to people, but it's like, it seems like she's rude to like everyone that's not the writer of the document. You know what I mean? Very, very interesting how differently she looks at everyone else. This caused a lot of people to not want to hang out with us at all. Understandable. I would repeatedly voice my feelings about this issue in attempts to set a hard boundary. She would act like she was going to change, but things always stayed the same. Her jealousy and anger would cause her to go as far as to lash out in toxic and rude ways towards other people I was friends with and cared about. She was never prepared to take any kind of accountability or consequence for her actions, though. She would literally grovel and blubber at me for begging for my forgiveness. This woman was 3 years older than me. This kind of stuff made me feel like I was wrong for ever getting mad at her for actions, but she would act sorry, and then she'd inevitably do the same shit again. It makes me sad watching me try and ask her over and over again to let me hang out with others, and clearly nothing ever changes because I needed to keep bringing up this issue. I really should tell you, I did something really bad stuff earlier when I was feeling like shit. I broke some stuff on your server. Minecraft server of mine existed before I knew her. I played on it with trusted friends and my boyfriend. I invited her because I thought I could trust her. My mistake. Oh yeah, I remember that being mentioned before. That she got added to that. That was kind of a long time ago. Feels like. Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, sorry, sorry. I feel bad about it. Wait, this is in 2020. Wait. Okay, this is way back in 2020. All right, all right, all right. Hold on. I'm really sorry. I think I misunderstood like all of this. I thought that this was all talking about like um more recent things. But the timeline, I guess I'm just a little bit confused about. But all right, this is back in 2020 is what she was talking about. Yeah, there were creepers behind your house. It's not bad at all. That's fixable. I stole diamonds from your boyfriends. Um, okay. I understand you're jealous. Please don't take it out on him. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's really trying to help you. Yeah, this is like this is this is so dumb. It's just like it's just like I don't want you to stop being my friend. I want to still be friends with you. But then what she's explaining is like accidentally blowing up her house or something. But then this is just like it's really sad that she like immediately recognizes this as another sign of jealousy because it's so common. But she's still interacting with this person because she still hopes that she can change. You know what I mean? And that hope is not it's not a bad quality to have, that optimism and empathy. But, it's just very sad that Jody was able to take advantage of her like this. Intentionally luring destructive mobs to the back of me and my boyfriend's house and stealing. Oh wait, hold on, what? I didn't know that she intentionally lured them to her house, but I kind of thought that just like happened. Yeah, pretty much as soon as I give her access to yeah. So obviously, like none of this is like it seems that serious, obviously, but I understand the seriousness behind it. It's just very like because it all needs to be taken into context together, like I said before. Please try and be kinder to him, Jody. He does his best to help you. It used to be so much worse when I was 14. Something got away. I'm really scared. I did something really bad. Yeah. This was her way of owning up to her actions, begging for forgiveness and acting tearful and afraid. Yeah. Yeah. This is not owning up. Not effectively giving accountability. You know, when I first met you, I was really jealous of you and your boyfriends. My OCD keeps trying to tell me that it means I had a crush on you or something. Yikes. Maybe it's hormones making me talk about things like that easier. But I've been so worried about that for months and months, and I was so scared to talk about it. I always wanted you to be my sister and nothing else. Jealous wasn't for wanting to be with you, it was wanting to be you. Yeah, because that's better. I wonder what the other thing she was so worried about to tell me what was. Here's another horrifying example of Jody wanting to literally be me. I also kind of realized the reason I'm so incredibly jealous of you and your boyfriend. She always comes up with a new reason. It's like I figure out the reason why, and it's a like new ridiculous thing. It makes no sense. She was obviously coming up with different. Oh my god, what did I just say? She acted like she had it all figured out. Of course, she did not have it all figured out. Absolutely not. I don't know that she ever will. I'm sorry, I'm not like reading like all of these word for word anymore. I'm just starting to think this is like more and more of the same shit. And I understand why it's in the document because it's evidence, but continue below. The specific situation arose because I was spending time with another mutual friend of ours in a private call. Yeah, so she says that she needs space from her, and she's really afraid of that, even though that's like, yeah. This behavior is putting so much emotional strain on me that I can't take it anymore. I can't sleep because of it. I feel like we're less friends and more that I need to take care of you all the time. You're 3 years older than me, and I feel like whenever I try to do anything by myself, you freak out. And you can't even emotionally handle the fact that I'm talking to somebody else and something's wrong. When you tell your friends and behave the way they When you yell at your friends and behave the way you did, there's bound to be consequences. Your friends might feel a bit uncomfy being around you because you yelled at them over a misunderstanding. You would get so angry over the fact that I was with my boyfriend that you would steal my shit and blow up stuff in our world. You'd block him off all the time and you were mean to him. And if you don't make a change, then it's about to happen all over again. I don't know what to say anymore. Yeah, this is a lot. I'm sure that it took a lot to like, finally say these words out loud. It's just really unfortunate that like, you know, a lot of the time you have problems with someone for a long time and eventually it blows up and finally hearing it from your perspective they are like, damn, I never really thought about it like that. I didn't realize how bad I was being, and like something like a multiple paragraphs like this, just like it might be enough to tip someone in the right direction, but Jody here clearly yeah, doesn't even acknowledge what she said. It's just like, we're gonna be best friends no matter what because you love me and I love you. She's just like pretending that there's no consequences for actions. Although, to be fair, I guess there's not really because they remained close until 2024. I just called an F slur when I went outside, and I'm upset. I want to spend time alone. I love you. Please don't forget all that, or don't forget that. I'm gonna fix all of this. I'll change my behavior. I'm gonna get help. I just want to spend time alone for now. Uh, Gosh, I love your boyfriend. He's so nice. I want to gently squeeze him. This is just not. This doesn't read like the text from an 18-year-old. You know what I mean? Like me and all of my friends that are 18, you know, even my friends that aren't 18, yeah, like they're 17. Like this is just not. None of none of us would ever talk like this. You know, it's just very concerning that someone of this age is talking like this at all, especially to someone that's so much younger than them. You know what I mean? Um, seems like kind of the same. Yeah, she needs space. She needs to be okay with hanging out with other friends. Yeah. Jody would often abuse drugs, get way too high, and then make it my problem. She made me her therapist. Yeah. More of the same. She's never gonna change. Yeah, I constantly made efforts to push her to improve, but it felt like it never worked. She would be back to her same old behavior after 2 business days. Yeah. Yeah, this is nice of her to encourage her to like hang out with other people. Oh wait, this is 2023. Yeah, I need to start looking at the dates. I mean, I have been looking at the dates, but sometimes I miss it. It's like multiple years difference. You want to call one on one tonight, maybe? I miss you. We call one on one every night, sweetheart. No, but before we go to bed, I know you miss me. I miss you too, but I also miss my friends. Breaks my heart watching me literally beg her to let me hang out with my friends, and she still finds a way to make it about her anyways. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Spamming. Yeah, this is very concerning. Very concerning. I mean, again, I know people that like will like spam as a joke, but like it's not like this. You know what I mean? It's not like genuine abandonment issues where like you know it just makes me really sad to think of this person in this situation where like they literally had to deal with this like every day or every other day. I don't want a codependent relationship. I don't want that. Womp womp. Yeah. Ignores us. I don't want to hang out from it. I really appreciate it if you focus on your work. Say, other people too. I just want to be able to hang out with my friends. Did you want to call in a little though? Yeah, she's at this point she's not even like acknowledging what she's saying, and it's just like it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy because like it's just crazy to see like the evolution of this relationship. You know what I mean? That's really the most distressing part about it. Seeing the dates of like the first messages at the start of this document were like 2020, and this is 2023, and this is where they are now. It's like the absolute worst possible way this could have gone. You know, just 77 out of 100, 2020. Okay. Uh, wow. This is so fucking much. This is so much. Like I don't think it would really contribute anything to this video if I read every single one of these messages out loud. That's what I'm starting to realize. But like this is genuinely so much of the exact same behavior. I tell her I don't want to call, I go to sleep, and I wake up in the morning to see that she still tried to wake me back up to call her. How insane is that? Huh. I felt like I could not set any boundary with her because she would always see it as me being angry. And sometimes I was angry. I have a right to be allowed to be angry at someone without being totally guilted for it. Yeah, even if you were angry, that's definitely valid at this point. I tried over and over to put my foot down here and say no, and she does everything she possibly can to get around that. It's violating and insulting. The fuck are you doing sending your dead name to people? They're texting me asking you to tell you to stop, and it's getting bad. People are saying you're transphobic, which is also not cool. Wait, she's sending her own dead name to people? I'm sorry if I'm just misunderstanding something, but I don't really see what the issue with that is necessarily. I mean, it's her own dead name. But I guess if it's related to the other transphobic stuff, then I guess that makes more sense. It's really harmful to my trust. I turn around for a few minutes and you start doing this shit purposefully, and you don't want me to know about it. I don't want to break your trust. I feel like I want them to know my dead name, and I don't know why. You shouldn't have done it this way. You should have maybe talked about it at an appropriate time. Okay, so I'm guessing there is more context that I'm just not really fully understanding because I'm not really that informed about issues like this, and I apologize for that. I'm a straight male, could not be less related to the LGBT community, but how do I fix this? I'm really upset right now. I think you need to walk away for a while and actually go outside. This is inappropriate. These people are my friends. Please don't make me kick you from the server again. Again? Yeah, yikes. I don't want to break your trust. I don't want to make you upset. I love you. She's not listening at all when she's saying that she needs space. Yeah. I hate my dad. I told him about all the reasons I'm upset and how I'll never be accepted as trans by my family. And like he does every single time, he just brushes everything off and addresses nothing. And I want to kill them all. I wonder why. He said I'm threatening. Please come back. I don't know if this is referring to I wonder why she wants to kill them all, or if it's saying I wonder why he brushes everything off. Like, honestly, either one could be a valid interpretation of the sentence. This is just an insane sentence. Not healthy at all. No way you bullied someone out of my server. That's not fucking cool. Stop taking your emotions out on my friends. I'm really disappointed with your behavior recently and how you've been towards other people. I don't know why I did that. This is not a fucking excuse for anything ever. Genuinely, just I don't know why I did that. Like, figure it the fuck out. You know? I understand that emotions can be complicated sometimes, but I would never like try to apologize to someone just by saying I don't know why I did that. You know, unless it was like I guess maybe something just like completely unserious. It's like not even worth talking about. But even then, there's still I feel like a reason for everything. You know, I feel like if you give it enough thought and you try to articulate yourself well, you can find a reason for why you did everything, and you can genuinely apologize. But this is not a genuine apology. This is just fucking embarrassing. You know? Yeah. It's really like it's unfortunate to see that she's finally like not like you know. I mean, it's good to see that she's like actually standing up to Jody at this point, but it's like, why are you even still talking to her? You know, you keep venting on everybody, on random people, and in random channels. You think I won't see? You think I don't see these things, but I do. I'm really upset with you right now. I want to make it better, but I don't know how to. That's for you to do, not me. Hmm. I still want you to apologize for your behavior. I will, baby. I promise. Okay. What? How long does it take? How long does it take to apologize? I don't understand. This is literally 2 hours later and she hasn't done anything. I'm still upset and I don't know what to say to her. Sorry, they aren't friends anymore, I guess. We also never talked. And things weren't the same after the Canada fiasco. Interesting. But you didn't do anything wrong to them. I don't understand. It was you. You did wrong to them. Yeah. Purple's messaging me and we've been chatting and he's telling me how he's pretty upset. Is Purple a he or a she? I thought maybe they transitioned. I don't know. I'm just gonna read what I see. Purple messaging me and was chatting. He's telling me how he's pretty upset at you, how he treated white and green, and that when he tried to talk to you about it, you either never got anywhere or you ghosted him. He soft locked me and unfriended me too. I didn't know what to say to Purple and just forgot about it. He says it feels like you say you'll change, but then you keep doing the same thing. Then it sucks because I don't know what to say. He says he wants distance himself from you for now. I just want to see you improve. I don't want to see you being mean to my friends like that anymore. Part of the reason my friendship with Green dwindled was because of how aggressive you were being towards her all the time. And I hate having to be the person to deal with this stuff. Yeah, she is kind of like having to be the mediator for like a lot of this shit, and it's all Jody's fault. Tight squeeze. This is not the appropriate time for this. She clearly does not understand what the appropriate time is for like anything. I want to do so much better, baby. I feel so terrible. Like she gets off on this shit. I genuinely think that she does. Like enjoy the fact that she knows there are no consequences for her actions. You know what I mean? Would it be okay if I played something with a friend I met at work for a while? The fact that you even have to ask if it's okay. Insane. Can I watch cock? Yeah, this is very weird. It's very awkward to say can I watch in that situation. I'm not really sure why she said that. Seriously, stop doing this or I'm taking your mod away as your last warning. I tire of you taking out your anger on my friends and innocent randoms in your server. It's not healthy or cool, nor does it make you look good. He screamed at me. No, he didn't. It felt like it. Fuck off. But he was right. You need to stop setting same-day deadlines for yourself and going and posting and telling everyone about it just to not follow through and beat yourself up over it the next week. But I was really going to do it, and I did it before with the FNAF movie video, and I made it then that day. She has a constant bad habit of hers. She will set super short deadlines for herself, not meet them, and then beat herself up when she doesn't meet that impossible deadline. This particular event happened when I was in the middle of talking to another friend of mine. She complained about her video deadline. He told her not to set deadlines, and we continued talking. She got pissed off at him and kicked him mid-sentence. Yeah, it doesn't even seem like he really said anything wrong. It kind of seems like normal advice, the good advice, honestly. But yeah, warning: the below screenshots mention inappropriate to be public sexual conduct. Below is a conversation held between two of my mutual friends at some point after my Canada trip to Jody. I visited one of these friends in Canada when I went to visit. Feels like she has no self-awareness. One time, me and Jody just had a talk that week about me not wanting her to come to my house, because she was being a dick, and I was in VC with her and the writer, talking about stuff to do while she visited. And Jody was like, "What if I took a plane and came down too?" Dead fucking silence. So awkward. Real. Even IRL, I had to tell her to stop grabbing her everywhere in public. Okay, wait, I'm making it sound way worse than it was, but still. Grab in what way? At any time, grabs her stomach, face, boobs, anything. Interesting. I would say generally, like putting your arm around someone in public is not really constituting PDA, but like grabbing their breasts is definitely a little bit much to be doing in front of everyone in public. Yeah, that is that would be so awkward, dude. I just can't imagine. It seems so awkward to be around her in like any capacity. God, I feel so bad for like everyone in the situation. It's fine, I don't care. It's not in public. Damn. Like, obviously, you're allowed to do that, but publicly, don't do that. Yeah. Yeah. Again, all these relationships. Ever last month, I literally went to an unrelated place with my boyfriend and an unrelated friend. We did not have this issue. I did the same with my girlfriend and an unrelated friend. It wasn't awkward 1 second. And it's not her at all. She tries to make Jody be less needy when I'm around. It's really only just Jody. And she can't tell her to stop every time, so it'd be generally so fucking awkward at that point. Well, that's the thing. If you're telling her to stop so much that it becomes awkward because she doesn't stop at all, it's like at that point you gotta just, that's when you know you gotta leave. You know what I mean? Because it's like you just can't keep doing that shit to yourself. That's not fair. The end, or just the beginning of yet another crazy time shit show. In December of 2024, I reached my breaking point. The results of the election that year had taken a major toll on my mental health. I was waking up in the early hours of the morning in cold sweat panic. I was vomiting constantly from stress, and was in and out of the emergency room. Yet Jody still expected me to be her emotional relief. I would desperately voice to her multiple times that I am in no position to be her therapist and that I can't handle this kind of venting right now for the sake of my own mental health. I completely understand this reaction to the election results, by the way. Honestly, proven even more valid as time goes on with the fuck is Trump doing? God. Do you need to call a hotline? I just wish we could live together already. I know Jody, but things are really uncertain right now. I don't know if I should call a hotline or do something to rest or not. I just miss you so much. You should call someone. It would help to talk to someone more experienced than me. Jody, I cannot be a therapist right now. Stop taking it out on the server. I'm not going to give you admin anymore. I just realized I'm off my meds. I haven't taken them in like 3 days. Yikes. Changing the subject, obviously. I'm not mad at you. I'm just not emotionally available right now. I think you should call a hotline. Yeah, very obviously, the writer of the document has been nothing but, mature and handling this completely reasonably throughout the entire situation. But yeah, it's just impossible to be reasoned with. Yeah, more. I constantly desperately tried to remind her that I cannot be her therapist, but the everyday venting would not stop. I found myself dreading waking up to panic messages from her. I dreaded going on work breaks and checking my phone to see her miserable. I woke up on December 14th, 2024, not feeling well. I got ready and headed to work, and pretty much as soon as I stepped foot on the work floor, I had a massive panic attack. I was hit with the realization that I was not happy in a relationship with Jody, and that I needed to leave her. Wow, it really just hit you like right then. That's kind of damn. I mean, I guess it would just kind of be random like that. I was genuinely terrified at this point that she would kill herself if I left her, but I knew I couldn't provide what she wanted from me as a girlfriend anymore. I could not handle being her therapist every single day, multiple times a day. I knew that I deserved better, and that I don't deserve to be shackled to one person for the rest of my life, especially someone online. I ended up going home early from work that day to do a lot of serious thinking and crying. Okay. I think a lot of people are afraid of this, but it's just not really, in a situation like this, threatening to kill yourself for like, other people to do things. Like, I don't know. I guess it kind of depends on the situation, but generally, I've always thought that if I were in that situation, I would not, go along with that because it doesn't seem like something that it doesn't seem like it's healthy for anyone to like go along with that and be like, okay, I'll just do whatever you say, because then they learn that if they just threaten to kill themselves, that you know, they'll just get whatever they want. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like what creates super mentally unstable people like this. Or not, like, it's not always what creates them, but, and sometimes they might be unstable in the first place, but, like, it's just something that can make things worse, I feel like. So I wouldn't be too worried too much about what happens to her after you leave her after, like, 40 years of just this horrible behavior. Anyway, when I first had my realization in the morning, I tried to break it to her as gently as I could, but it didn't feel like she was hearing me. It was just trying to, make someone less angry or hostile. So I wouldn't leave. I voiced my concern that she would do something serious if I left, and she did not acknowledge it. I'm really worried that if we ever had to break up, that you wouldn't be able to recover from it, and you'd do something rash. I'm also really worried that I'm worried I jumped into a relationship way too fast, like the same day I left my ex-boyfriend. I really love you still. When I try to imagine not having you around, I can't. But shit, being in a relationship has been really, really stressful for me, and recently I don't know why. If it helps you feel any better, feeling better today finally. Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure you feeling better would definitely help her feel much better about this. I don't know why my anxiety is so fucking bad right now. Little by little, my meds are stabilizing my head again, and I don't care. Jody, I don't know if I want to move to another country. She was incredibly set on wanting to move in with me. I didn't want to be someone's full-time in-person therapist. After trying to express to her that I was afraid to pursue a relationship further, because I didn't feel like I could emotionally provide for her, she continued pushing my boundaries, calling me pet names and downplaying what I was saying to her. I took a long break and came back with a response that I thought about really heavily. At the time, I really wanted to continue being her friend after all this, but she pushed my boundaries and it felt like she was trying to find a loophole in the circumstances that I was presenting so that I would still be her girlfriend. Jody, I'm ready to talk, but it might be a kind of hard conversation. But I really want you to know you haven't done anything wrong. It's not true. For the past month, I've really been struggling with my mental health, and it's caused my social and emotional battery to be extremely depleted and strained, and I don't feel like I can sufficiently fill the role of your girlfriend. Being halfway across the world from each other and dating is extremely difficult, but I really care about you so deeply, and I don't want to lose you as a friend. And as your friend, I absolutely can't string you along or lie to you or strain a relationship because that would do nothing but cause you a lot of hurt. And you don't deserve that. You haven't done anything wrong. I just really desperately need space and time and energy for myself to figure out what's going on and get a therapist to get my life back together. I still want to talk to you and be your best friend. Our friendship really means a lot to me, and I don't want this to be a huge breakup because I'm not going to like disappear or anything. But you deserve someone who can be a proper partner to you and who can tend to your emotional needs. I don't feel like I can maintain any kind of romantic relationship right now. But I love you, and I'm so willing to take things slow if that's what you need. I love you too, but I can't be your girlfriend. It's causing me so much stress knowing that I can't properly be emotionally there for you. I desperately need to spend time healing myself because I haven't felt normal in a while. But you are, sweetheart. You are what? Properly emotionally there. Okay, yeah. Please listen to me. I know it sucks so bad and I don't want to hurt you, but I can't beat around the bush. I can't be anyone's girlfriend right now because I'm not okay mentally. I still want your friendship and to hang out, but you still love me. Yeah, like romantically. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she is just kind of trying to find a loophole here to remain in a relationship. She's kind of like, it's very. I'm sure this was very hard, but it's just like looking at this from an outsider perspective is just so. It makes me so upset. Like because she's like, I can't be your girlfriend because I'm not mentally stable. And Jody is just like, oh, but you still love me romantically, right? And you still want to be my girlfriend, right? It's just like not really listening to anything she's saying. And I don't know. And I don't believe any of this. I don't believe any of this she's saying here about, oh, I can give you space if that's what you need. I don't believe that, she would change her behavior at all because she hasn't in 4 fucking years, you know? But yeah, yeah. Repeatedly attempting to circumvent the clear boundary, I'm just saying, yeah. Trying to circumvent it very much so. Um, at this point, I was getting extremely upset and exhausted. She would not accept any answer from me that was not "I love you" romantically. I fell back into a corner and no longer knew how to respond. I was not going to back down on the breakup. I expressed to her that I needed space from her. This is good. You know, it's very hard, but it's good that she's standing up for herself. This is so weird. She's talking like nothing is different. She's talking like I just want to cuddle you. Do you want to call? I just want you to know that I love you. Like she's acting like nothing is happening. You know what I mean? She continued to message me after I told her I wanted space from her. I was eventually forced to mute her DM for my own mental health because she would not stop trying to contact me. This continued into the next morning. She eventually contacted my mom asking when I would speak to her again. My mom told her to give me my space. She contacted. Wait. She contacted your mom. What the fuck? Dude. I cannot imagine being this person's parents, dude. This is actually. I really can't imagine being anyone in this situation. This is horrible. Jody continued to interact with my social media accounts and was inside of my friend's server, though she was not being very active. I felt as though I was being watched and that I couldn't use that as a space that I established for myself and my friends because of her. Yeah. Right. We're almost done here. 105. Yeah. Play my cards right. Yeah. I'm in a position to ease the circumstances as much as humanly possible and improve the chances of this working out. Yeah, I don't know. This is not sounding like someone that's like it's a situation that can definitely be influenced positively in the nearest future. Yeah, these are just like kind of nicer way, not really nice, but nicer ways of saying that she's a manipulator. Like, I don't know. It's just really hard for me to believe that she's not self-aware, or she hasn't been self-aware like this entire time. You know? Yeah. Just like I've read the words. There's something similar to this. Like, I hope she isn't mad at me. I feel awful. I've read that so much from her that it's like, when do you ever not feel awful? Like, it feels like every day for the past 4 years. Like, it's genuinely is straining me so much just to keep reading this because it's so repetitive. And that's why I've had to skip over a lot of it, because it's just like the same exact shit. And it's actually insane that as like for this long and this consistently, she has not been willing to change even slightly. And I'm just starting to like not really understand what the benefit of was being with her at all. But I guess it's just attachment, started when she was very young, you know, making it difficult for her to leave when she gets older. That's what grooming is. Uh, Good lord. I soft blocked her on Blue Sky and Tumblr. She repeatedly followed me back. I was extremely uncomfortable and hard blocked her on my Blue Sky, Tumblr, and Twitter accounts. She again contacted my mom, asking when/if I'll be talking to her again, and my mom not so politely told her to leave me alone. I eventually removed her from my Steam and Discord friends list. As soon as Jody noticed I unfriended her, she immediately tried to add me back. Repeatedly, I would deny the friend request. She would wait a few weeks, then she would try again. This would cause me serious distress, I would imagine. On January 13th, 2025, Jody made an extremely distressing tweet threatening suicide. I think it just said goodbye, and I quickly went and spoke to a friend that still frequently spoke to her, and the situation was not looking good. Okay. It's good that she didn't directly reach out to Jody. Um, yeah. Threatening to kill herself, talking about harming herself, because she can't talk to you. Yeah. You're allowed to be angry, just don't do anything rash. Oh, wait, you still gotta talk to her. Everyone else gets to talk to her. That's not anyone else's fault. It's still her choice to talk to her. But we're best friends. Not fucking fair. I'm so fucking mad. I'm so angry. Yeah, no. Yeah. At this point, she's like not really like, it's completely fair. I don't understand how she can be rationalizing this in her brain to make it seem like it's not. Yeah. I know it could have codependent you were with her, but maybe she didn't feel the same way. She did. Uh, this entire fiasco confirmed my worst fear that Jody would self-harm, threaten suicide, or kill herself if I left her. I already didn't know how I could ever speak to her again, and this solidified my decision to cut her off forever. The situation was extremely distressing for me, and I genuinely feared for her life, and it made me realize how much of a hold she still had on me even after I hadn't spoken to her for nearly a month at this point. Yet, a few weeks later, Jody friend requested me on Discord again. I was pissed, I blocked her immediately, and told my friend what had happened. On accident. Yeah, no. Bullshit. Why would you be on her profile anyway? God. Um, this is really, everyone's kind of done with their shit at this point. Dude, this is very like, yeah. I'm kind of becoming like, I don't even know like how I can read this out loud anymore. This is just so fucking distressing. Uh, After this, there was a mostly silence for a few months. She would still reach out to my, wait, yeah, this was just a few months ago. She would still reach out to my mutual friend asking if I wanted to talk to her again, and I stood my ground with no. I didn't feel comfortable asking my friends to not talk to her anymore because I didn't want the police other people's friendships with her. Just because I didn't talk to her anymore doesn't mean other people shouldn't have to. And things were quiet. I wasn't hearing any drama through the grapevine. I was enjoying my life like any normal person should. Until May 21st, 2025. That's a couple days after I graduated. Jody began making some extremely transphobic tweets. This is especially upsetting for me considering how many people in her audience were transgender or queer transitioning, and seeing someone who you thought was a good trans online role model start saying this stuff is disturbing. Let's become a statistic together. I don't really know what that means out of context. Okay, tranny genocide. That's not nice. A good friend of mine later alerted us to a serious situation that was likely related to these earlier tweets. Life sucks. I no longer feel comfortable about friends or being friends with someone because of how something they said was disgustingly vile. But like, man, it's hard to cut someone off, especially when they're the main reason I kind of know anyone. Just clicking in front of one sentence there. Still completely deluded by someone saying someone was flirting with my girlfriend, also confirming they were stalking their accounts, and proceeded to completely hurl insults at this person, by then saying they don't even pass and are a complete stereotype. Huh. Just clicking in front of one thing. No way she still thinks I'm still her girlfriend. She's still fucking shitting on this person I just met. I'm literally confused. Like, I'm just so confused as I'm reading this. It literally makes no sense. Like, why, how the fuck did she come to that conclusion? Alright. She stood outside in my field at 3 a.m. making a phone call so someone go check on her. Alright, so she's starting to like visit people in real life now. It's like, I mean, I know she already visited people in real life, but like visiting unwelcomed. Because there's this, and then it was mentioned before that she was going back to ex's state. Um, yeah, this is very like scary behavior. Honestly, this is like she's completely unpredictable at this point. There's really, dude, I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm honestly at a loss for words at this. I've been reading this for so long that I feel like kind of connected to it in a way because of how well it's been laid out, and I just I feel the stress. I feel the stress coming from everyone in this situation because it's like there's just so much of the same shit. It's been so long with so little change, no change whatsoever, really, and it's like I'm really drained right now. I think I'm just when I'm done reading this, I think I'm just gonna go to sleep and sleep for like 20 years. So Jody had been cyberstalking me over the course of multiple months, even after I had blocked her on every single account on every single social media or whatever account that I own. She had been purposefully circumventing these blocks to watch what I was doing and delude herself that I was still her girlfriend. This was seriously a lot to take in. At this point, I was no longer comfortable tolerating this kind of behavior without my general friend group at least knowing about it. I called a chat meeting to catch people up with a general situation and talk with them. I didn't tell them to do anything outright, but many of them were disgusted by the situation and left her server or even blocked her. Finale. Oh, finally. Okay. Honestly, I have difficulty putting into words how absolutely nightmarish this whole entire relationship has been. I want to apologize to every single one of my past and present friends who have put up with this kind of behavior. None of this was ever acceptable. I'm sorry I didn't see that sooner. I hope this document is the push that Jody needs to truly get up and get help. I don't believe that she is someone who can safely handle a large following of people, especially not following of mainly young and potentially vulnerable people. I 100% agree with that. It's very concerning seeing the kind of content that she makes and, what her target demographic obviously is. Very concerning that she would be acting like this behind the scenes. I'm sure that it bleeds into, you know, her daily life somehow. Although I don't know because I've never heard of her before. I don't watch her content. But yeah, the way she inflicts her emotions and problems onto other people is seriously unhealthy and dangerous. Her behavior surrounding minors in the past has been dangerous, even if she may not realize it. She is extremely manipulative. I thank anyone who took the time to read through all of this. I know it is not an easy task, and it is not a short document whatsoever. Um, yeah, it's been 2.5 hours. Definitely not a short read. I wanted to give as much history as I possibly could to show just how long this kind of behavior has been happening and how many different people it has affected. I wanted to include one more anonymous statement from someone who interacted very closely online and in person. I started as a gomotion fan when I first joined her Discord server in November 2021. In March 2022, and after a few months of being active on her server, I was invited to her private server. Not her private server, the writer's private server. I still refuse to say this aloud. I'd hang out a ton in VC with and Jody and would become really good friends with both of them. Later on, I started hanging out with them in person. In January 2023, they came over to my house for the first time and stayed a few days. And we had to have Jody on call with us for most of their stay. That's so weird. You're literally hanging out with someone in person and you still have to be on call with her. The last night of us hanging out, we decided to just chill with the two of us. And they turned off their phone because Jody was blowing it up. The result of this was her also blowing up my phone, even after I asked her to please just stop. This was when I started to realize her pattern of constantly having to insert herself into everything was doing. Yeah. By 2023, me and them were besties. When we'd hang out all together, when we'd all hang out together in VC. Sorry, I'm honestly struggling to keep my eyes open right now. This has tired me the fuck out. Jody would always try to one up me whenever I did something nice for them. She would try not to take my place when they would ask me for something as simpler as going out to get wood in Minecraft. She'd get jealous and tell dude, it says the name so much, and it's like, it's literally like, I hate to say it like this, but it's breaking my immersion. Loki. I don't know why that's the pseudonym that you chose for this. I'm not gonna lie, but whatever. Doesn't take away from the seriousness of the situation at all whatsoever. I'm just saying it's kind of hard for me to not laugh while I'm reading this. But I want to do this with you. Okay, she get jealous and tell them, but I want to do this with you, or randomly be rude and interrupt me for seemingly no reason. Yeah, that definitely checks out with what we've seen in the screenshots before. I had multiple conversations with Jody about how I always felt third wheeled whenever I'd be on a call with both of them. She admitted that she was jealous of me for being able to hang out with them in person more than her. And that she had a fear of something romantic happening between them. Not being friends with her was rather impossible if I wanted to be able to hang out with her, as she always was in calls with us. Another time when she was at my house in March 2023, we did a bit of shrooms. Jody also decided to do a heroic amount of shrooms for her first time. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to assume it just means a lot of shrooms. Yeah, and she had a bad trip. We had to spend a good part of our trip reassuring Jody and taking care of her while we were also low-key tripping and just wanted to have a good time. Yeah. Honestly, I feel for her in that. The first time I got high was kind of recently, and it was not fun at all. I don't think I'll ever be doing it again. It wasn't with shrooms, but it was really just pure paranoia, and it was not fun at all. So I definitely understand what they mean by that, but yeah, it definitely checks with her pattern of behavior to be like, you know, needing everyone to be reassuring her throughout the entire trip. After much consideration over months, I decided that it'd be okay with her to visit me and stay at my place for a few days alongside them. In June 2023, when they were here, I had asked Jody to stop grabbing their boobs in public. She also had asked Jody to stop being so needy in front of me as it made us both uncomfortable. Yeah. Jody ended up blocking me in September 2023, which I assume is because of some sort of problems that happened with them going back home to visit me in Canada. Later on in February 2024, after randomly lashing out violently at me multiple times on their Discord server, I finally had enough and left the server. Even after all of that, whenever I hung out with them in calls, Jody still had to be included despite having blocked me. Interesting. Encore. Below, I thought it might be enlightening just to throw a couple of miscellaneous screenshots for Jody's extremely erratic, aggressive, and often offensive behavior. She would often randomly hurl horrible slurs at people when they weren't comfortable with it for no reason. Some of them are very interesting. Okay. I just took a okay. All right. So I'm not gonna read these out loud. um. Yeah. Uh. Yeah. This is Yeah. Hey, I guess it's kind of interesting to see a different personality for once. We haven't really seen her aggressive side so far in the screenshots. It's really just been her like needy side. So it's good to know that or she kind of changes up now and again. Maybe it's not as repetitive. Yikes. That's the end. Yeah, this is, that was a lot. That was a lot to take in, for me. I'm gonna spend a lot of time thinking about this. And yikes, dude. I honestly, still at this point, I don't even really know what the purpose of recording this as a video was, and not just reading it. But wow, I mean, shit, man. I don't know. I feel like I had a lot more to say at the beginning, but at this point, I'm just kind of speechless. Like, I guess, I guess thanks for watching if you watched the entire thing. Although I highly doubt anyone did. um, yeah, I hope that this means something in the end. This document, I mean, I hope this will eventually trigger a change in behavior somewhat. But hey, man, it is what it is. The most important thing is the victims of this moving on from this period of their life and just Jesus Christ. Hopefully nobody has to interact with this person like this again. Um, yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. Uh, Goodbye.